In this video, we are discussing arrays in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing how to use Java arrays. So here we have defined one array, integer type of array. Name of the array is INTARR, and this is one integer array. And while we are declaring this array, we are also initializing with our values. So that means here we are passing our values, which will be filled up in this particular array. And here it will be having 5 values are stored directly in the array from the subscript ranging from 0 to 4. In case of Java, the array subscript, the location number will be starting from 0. So this is our INTARR. Here we have defined one float array which will be having 5 consecutive locations, and it can hold only the float type of data. And we have also defined one character array which is still uninitialized, but it will have 5 locations to character to hold 5 different characters. We are having one scanner class object which has been initialized to take values from the keyboard as input. This float array, here we are initializing it, we are just putting values manually, assigning multiple different values. That means here the 5 values, float values in the array, and index will start from 0 to 4 here because we are having 5 locations. And also using for loop, we can initialize one array. You can find that here I is a loop control variable. So I is ranging from 0 to 4 because the condition is I less than 4 I plus plus starting from 0. So the value of I will be ranging from 0 to 4. And then we are going for char arr I is equal to, we shall be taking input from the keyboard using this scanner object. Next we will actually return a string, and dot char at 0, that means the first character of the string will be taken as a character, and that will be filling up this char arr array at the ith position, at the ith index. And then we are printing this integer array. So for I will be ranging from 0 to 4, and then INTARR will get printed. Similarly, we are printing this float array, and also we are printing this character array as well. So now here you can find that in this particular character array printing, we are using the for each loop, and also this float array printing, we are using the for each loop. And to print this integer array, we are using this for loop where I will be ranging from 0 to 4, and I will get increased by 1 at a time in each and every iteration. In case of for each loop, you know that float item colon float array, that means for each and every looping, for each and every iteration, one value will be picked up at a time, and consecutive values will be picked up in the order in which they are appearing in the array. And similar case will happen when we are picking up characters from this character array, one value at a time in an iteration, and the characters will be picked up in the order in which they are appearing in this character array. And then we are closing this scanner object also. So now let us go for the execution. You can find that so enter the character for this index. So we shall go for H E L L in the 5 characters. Now the integer array has got printed. You can find that this is our integer array. So this is our integer array, the content is there. So let me go for input again, and then here we are having the respective manual entries are there. So the values we are finding in this float array, and in the character array, as according to the given input, the values have got put in the respective index of this character array. So in this demonstration, we have shown you that how to define one array, how to deal with array, and what are the different ways to initialize the array contents, and what are the different ways to print the array contents, either using for loop or using for each loop, and so on.
In this video, we are discussing arithmetic operators available in Java.
In this demonstration, we are going to discuss different arithmetic operators whatever available in our Java code. We have defined 3 variables of type integer, and here we have defined one scanner class object. This scanner class object, using it we shall take inputs from the keyboard, and then we are going to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and other arithmetic operations using Java arithmetic operators. So scanner is equal to new scanner. So this is a new scanner is a constructor we are calling, so that you can instantiate this scanner object. and system.in, it is depicting that from the system's default input device, that is our keyboard, will be getting stream of characters. And then we are taking this input from the keyboard and also we are converting it to the respective integer using this method next int, and that will be assigned to a at first, and next time I'm calling scanner.nextInt method, it is assigning the input integer value to b variable. And now we are doing this addition. The addition operator is plus, subtraction operator is minus, there is a multiplication operator star, there is a arithmetic division operation, that is our slash font slash. Here we are having the remainder operation to get, there is a modulus, we are getting this one as percentage, and in this way whatever the results we are getting, and they are getting printed accordingly. So in this way, and at the end of the code we are just closing the scanner object. So we are going to use different arithmetic operators in this demonstration. So let me execute my code here. So enter the value of a and b, that means this line is getting executed. So now it is asking to input two values, and first value will be assigned to a and the second value will be assigned to b. Let us suppose I'm putting the value say 100 and say 12. In that case, what we are getting after addition, it is 112, it's perfectly okay. Subtraction 88. After multiplication means we are doing this one using this star, that is a multiplication here we are having, so that is 1200. Here we are doing this division operation, this arithmetic division using this slash font slash. A and b both are of the type of integer, so the quotient will be also of the type of integer. Result has been defined as integer type of variable, so you are not going to get any fractional part here, so we are getting 8, and then remainder, that means 100 by 12, that means 100% 12 here to get the remainder, and as a remainder we are getting here 4. So in this demonstration we have explained that what are the different arithmetic operators in Java available and how to use them in our Java code.
Bitwise operators in Java.
Here in this demonstration we are discussing bitwise operators available in Java. So we have defined two variables, val1 and val2, with the values 12 and 10, and they are of the type of byte. So the binary representation of 12 in byte, that means in 8 bits we have written, and also the binary representation of 10 in 8 bits we have mentioned that one. So byte result, so we are defining another variable result here. So it has been represented as res. So result is equal to byte of not val1, that is a bitwise complement val1. So this is known as the not, also the operator is known as tilde operator, and we are converting it to the byte type and assigning to this result. Now what is happening here? So this val1 is actually containing 12, that means there is a binary representation of 12. So 12 means 8 plus 4, that means at the 8 and 4 place we will be having 1, and rest bits will be filled up with zeros. So now to get that ones complement of it, we are getting this one as 4 times 1 and then 0011. So that is the not of val1. So if I print this one, we are getting here minus 13. Now question is coming in mind, why it is minus 13? Why the value has got printed as minus 13? We know that when the first bit is 1, then the number will be treated as a negative quantity, and to get the magnitude I should calculate its 2's complement. So 2's complement means 1's complement, that means zeros will be replaced by 1 and 1's will be replaced by 0 plus 1, and that is the 1's complement plus 1 will be the 2's complement, which will be denoting the magnitude part of the number, and the first bit will be denoting the sign, that is our negative, because the first bit is 1. So now what is this? This is our 12 plus 1, so that is a 13. So minus 13 will be the outcome, and that we are getting here as the outcome here. Next one is val1 and val2. So and here we are doing the bitwise AND operator, so it will be denoted by this ampersand. So now if we do the bitwise, just you can do for the columnar, just see. So here only we are having this 1 and 1, so that's why this place will produce 1 here, and rest all places will be producing 0. So this 1 means at the 8th place we are having 1. So if we print, we can find that after doing this ANDing we are getting the 8 as the outcome. In case of OR, what is happening? If you go on ORing, bitwise if you go on ORing, you can find that it is 1 or 1 is 1, 1 or 0 is 1, 0 or 1 is 1, and the rest of the bits will be 0. So 1110 will be the outcome. So that means 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2, that is a 14 here. So that's why after ORing we're getting this one as 14. Next we're going for this XOR operation. In case of XOR, it will be denoted by this upper caret, that is a operator, that is a XOR operation, bitwise XOR operation. So what will be the outcome? You know that in case of XOR operations, similar bits will produce the output 0 and dissimilar bits will produce the output 1. So here I'll be getting 1 because 1 and 0 XOR is 1 and this 1 XOR 0. So 0 XOR 1 is 1. So rest of the bits will be producing 0 after XORing, bitwise XORing. So 110 will be the outcome. So I am expecting 6 as the result. Yes, we are getting 6 after doing the XORing. Next one is there is a shift 2 bits towards the left, that is a val 1. So here you are having this val 1. So I'm just shifting it towards the left for 2 bits place. So I'm just going for, that is, here it is nothing but 32 plus 16 and that should be 48. Next one is that we are going for this val 1 which will be shifted towards the right. So 12 by 4, so 3 will be the result here. So in this way we have explained the bitwise operators which are available in Java with proper demonstration and example.
In this video, we are discussing conditional operators in Java.
We are discussing how to use the conditional operators in Java. So here we have defined two boolean variables, that is the bool1 and bool2, and another variable that is our result, res. Bool1 has got initialized with true and bool2 has got initialized with false. So result is equal to bool1 or bool2. You can find that here we have used double filter sign. So true when at least one of the value, if it is true, then the outcome will be true, and that is the basic logic of OR. And in this case, this result is equal to bool1 and bool2. So that is our double ampersand, which is another conditional operator. So true when both values are true here. So here we are expecting that result will be printed as true because one of the values is true here, bool1 is true. But here we are expecting that the result will be printed as false because here this bool1 is true but the bool2 is false. So now let me go for the execution. You can find that it is true and it is false and it is according to our logic. So now let me make it true here. Then what will happen? In the both cases, for this double filter, that is the and there is a double ampersand, that is our double filter is OR and double ampersand is our AND. In the both cases, in the both conditional operators will produce the outcome as true. So let me go for the execution. You can find that they are producing the outcome as true here. So in this way, in this demonstration with the proper example, we have given you the idea that how to use the conditional operators in our Java coding.
Relational operators in Java.
Here in this demonstration, we will be discussing on relational operators available in Java. We have defined one variable of the type boolean. The name of the variable is result, and the first relational operator we are using, that is equal to. So 10 equal to 10, it is a condition, so it will return either true or false depending upon the condition is true or the condition is false. So true when a left operand is exactly equal to the right operand. So that will be assigned to the result. The value of the result will be printed. So we can see that the result is true here. Next time we are gone for 5 less than 5. So here this less than is nothing but one relational operator in Java. So that will be assigned to result. 5 is less than 5 is false. So true when the left operand is less than the right operand, but that is not happening here. Here both the operands are same. So that's why the result will get printed as false. So you can find that the result has got printed as false. Next one is result is equal to 5 less than equal to 5. Here less than equal to is one of the relational operators in Java. True when left operand is less or equal to the right operand. So we are printing the result and it is getting printed as true here. Next time you are using the greater than, that is a 10 greater than 5. So this greater than is one relational operator, true when the left operand is greater than the right operand. So now here the result is getting printed and you are finding that the result is getting printed as true. So we are getting this outcome here. Next one is greater than equal to. So 10 greater than equal to 5. So this condition is true. So result will be printed as true here. So the another relational operator, that is a not equal to. So 2 not equal to 2. True left operand and the right operand are not the same, but they are same here. So that's why the result will be assigned with the false and the result will get printed. So I'm getting the outcome as result is : false. So in this way we have discussed different relational operators available in Java.
Here in this video, we are discussing unary operators in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing unary operators. We have defined two variables var1 and var2 of type integer. var1 is equal to 50. So assigning 50 to the variable var1 and var2 is equal to minus of var1. That means here we are using this unary minus. Unary means this particular operator is requiring only one operand to operate it on. If I write minus 10, here minus is requiring only one operand, that is 10. But if I write 10 minus 5, here minus operator is requiring two operands, 10 and 5. In that case, the operator will be known as the binary operator because it is requiring two operands. But if you write only minus 10, then the minus is actually working as one unary operator. So minus unary operator to invert the sign of the value of var1, and now we are printing the value of var1 and var2 both. So if I go on executing, I can find that one. This var1 is still with this 50. The var1 is still with this 50, but var2 has got the value minus 50 here. Next one is that var1 is equal to 50 and var2 is equal to var1 plus plus. That means you can find that this plus plus operator is nothing but one unary operator. It is requiring only one operand, that is a var1, and here we are doing the post increment. That means at first it will store the value, then the value of var1 will get incremented. So store previous value, then increase var1 by 1. So we have written everything in our comment. So var2 is equal to var1 plus plus. So as a result of that, you can easily find that the var2 has got the value 50 and var1 after doing this increment has got the value 51, because the previous value of var1 will be assigned to var2, and that is 50, and then var1 will get incremented by 1. So var1 itself will have the value 51 here. So that is happening in this particular output line. Next one is that we are doing the same, but here we have written this one as plus plus var1. That means pre-incrementing, increasing var1 by 1 and then assigning it to var2. So from the 50, if I increase the value of var1 by 1, so it will become 51, and then 51 will be assigned to var2. So we are expecting that both var1 and var2 will be printed as 51 and 51. So there is a respective output line. So next one is that where assign var1 is equal to 50, and similarly we have done the post decrementing. That means store the previous value and then decrease var by var1. So in this way it is going to do that one. So I'm just let me explain it here. So var1 is having the value 50, so 50 will be assigned to var2 and then var1 will become 49 here. So as a result of that, you can easily find that here we are having this 50 for var2 and then var1 has got decremented by 1, so it has become 49. So at first 50 will be assigned to var2 and then var1 will be decremented by 1, so it has become 49. Next one is our pre-decrementing. So pre-decrementing means that here we shall be decrementing the value of var1, so it will become 49 and then that 49 will be assigned to var2. So both var1 and var2 will have the value 49 and 49 respectively. Boolean bool1 comma result. So that means here we have defined two variables, bool1 and result. Bool1 is containing the value true. That is, a not of bool1 will be assigned to result. So as a result of that, if you print bool1, it will print true, and if you print result res, then it will print not of true, that is false. So let us go for the execution. You can find that the bool1 is true and result is false. So in this way, in this demonstration, we have given you the idea that how these unary operators can be operated in our Java code.
Relational operators in Java.
Here in this demonstration, we will be discussing on relational operators available in Java. We have defined one variable of the type boolean. The name of the variable is result, and the first relational operator we are using, that is equal to. So 10 equal to 10, it is a condition, so it will return either true or false depending upon the condition is true or the condition is false. So true when a left operand is exactly equal to the right operand. So that will be assigned to the result. The value of the result will be printed. So we can see that the result is true here. Next time we have gone for 5 less than 5. So here this less than is nothing but one relational operator in Java. So that will be assigned to result. 5 is less than 5 is false. So true when the left operand is less than the right operand, but that is not happening here. Here both the operands are same. So that's why the result will get printed as false. So you can find that the result has got printed as false. Next one is result is equal to 5 less than equal to 5. Here less than equal to is one of the relational operators in Java. True when left operand is less or equal to the right operand. So we are printing the result and it is getting printed as true here. Next time you are using the greater than, that is a 10 greater than 5. So this greater than is one relational operator, true when the left operand is greater than the right operand. So now here the result is getting printed and you are finding that the result is getting printed as true. So we are getting this outcome here. Next one is greater than equal to. So 10 greater than equal to 5. So this condition is true. So result will be printed as true here. So the another relational operator, that is a not equal to. So 2 not equal to 2. True left operand and the right operand are not the same, but they are same here. So that's why the result will be assigned with the false and the result will get printed. So I'm getting the outcome as result is false. So in this way we have discussed different relational operators available in Java.
In this video, we are discussing commenting techniques in Java.
In case of Java, we can have the single line comment. That means one comment line can be inserted in our code. We know that comment line will not have any effect in the outcome when the program will be in execution. Comment line will be simply ignored in the execution. So here to have the single line comment, we are supposed to put // that is a double front slash, and this is a single line comment, and up to the end of the line the comment will be maintained. So that is a way to have the single line comment here. So let us suppose I want to put them in the single line comment as a block. We're having one option, that is a source toggle comment. You can find that this full block, this full line of codes, whatever the number of lines you have selected, they will be under this single line comment, and that is a toggle type one. So you can mark them and you can go for toggle comment. So they'll become uncommented. You can make them as comment. So that is our single line comment. But if you want to go for the multi-line comment, so that can be done in this way. You see the lines are not commented here. So you can go for this and go for add block comment. So in this way you can find that in case of block comment, all these lines will be enclosed within /* and // here, and that is known as the block comment. So in this way you can also do that one. You can remove it if you require to do so. There is a remove block comment. Respective shortcut keys are also given. You can apply them. So that is the removing the block comment. Otherwise we can also go for this. You can mention that /*. Now in this way you can put multiple lines under this comment. So I'm just copying this one. If I'm to put it here, you can easily find that you can easily put these lines under the comment. So that is another way you can do it. There is another way you can do it. So that is our multi-line comment, and you can go on expanding. So in this way you can also go for block comment in our Java. So this demonstration is for how to make a single line comment and multi-line comment, and how to take the help of the respective ID, with the help of which you can do the same as when required.
In this video, we are discussing real type of data in Java.
In this Java program, we are going to deal with the float and double data type variables. We have defined one variable myFloat of the type float, and we are assigning 50.26 to this myFloat variable. So to convert this 50.26 to the float type, we are writing either capital F or small f at the end of the number to represent that it is a float data. And then we are printing the value of the myFloat variable. So the outcome is our 50.26. In the next example, 50 and 3 individually they are integers, but I want to do some float division between them. So that's why here we have done this typecasting. So typecasting to change integer to float, and as a result of that we will be getting and we will be observing fractional part in our quotient after doing the division. So that's why 16.666666 is the respective answer, and that has been assigned to my float, and my float has got printed. Here we are having my double. In case of my double, we know that in case of double type of data types, we will be having 8 bytes of memory space will be occupied to hold this respective variables value. So in case of float, 4 bytes. In case of double, it will be 8 bytes. On this particular variable, we have written minus 0.2356. So here you can use capital D or small d to represent that it is a double data, but by default it will be of the type of double. So I'm going for the execution. I can find that my double is having the value that is minus 0.2356. Here we are doing some division operation. So this particular 22, we are representing this number 22 in the terms of double. So that's why we can write capital D or small d after 22, and we are expecting that this particular quotient will have the fractional part here. So 22d by 7, so converting 22 as double, and that's why we are going to get our fractional part in our quotient, that is 3.14285714 and so on. So in this way we have shown you that how to deal with the float and double type variables in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing character type of data in our Java coding.
In this demonstration, we are going to deal with the character type of variables. We have defined one character type variable, that is a mychar, and this mychar has got initialized with this capital A enclosed within single quotes. That means the direct assigned character capital A, which will be enclosed within single quote. And in our Java programming, whenever you are trying to deal with the characters are to be enclosed within single quotes here. So system.out.println, the value of mychar I have printed here, and so the effective outcome is capital A. Next one, this mychar has got initialized with this 70. What is the 70? 70 is the ASCII value of character F. 70 is the ASCII value of character F, because we know that capital A is having the ASCII code 65, so F will have the ASCII code that is our 70. So after assigning this 70 to this mychar, if I go on printing this mychar, remember mychar was defined as of the type char, so that's why whenever we are going to print this mychar, it is printing capital F, not 70, because it is a character type of variable. Here in this case, the mychar has been initialized with /u0041. There is a Unicode hexadecimal value for integer, and this value will be ranging from 0000H to FFFFH. Here H stands for hexadecimal. So as a result of that, when we are assigning /u, that means the Unicode hexadecimal format 0041. So 41, if we want to convert this 41 to the decimal equivalent, it is 4 into 16 to the power of 1, that is 64, plus 1 into 16 to the power of 0, that is 1. So 64 plus 1, that is 65. That is the ASCII code of capital A. So if I go on printing this mychar, you can find that mychar is printing capital A here. So in this way we have shown you that how to deal with the character type of variables in our Java code. Thanks for watching this video.
In this video, we are discussing Boolean type data in Java.
In the demonstration, we are going to discuss Boolean type of variable, that is the mybool. So Boolean mybool. So mybool is a variable of the type Boolean. Mybool has got initialized with a value that is true. Here you can find that in case of true, all the letters are written in the lowercase. And then we are trying to print the value of mybool there. And mybool is equal to false. We are setting the value of mybool with false. That is, we know that Boolean data type can have two values, either true or false, and then it is printing there's mybool there. So let me go for the execution. You can find for the first time mybool has got printed as true. For the second time mybool has got printed as false. So now let me go for some other experiment. Here I'm writing here 100. Go on printing. I'm finding that it is producing error because proceed. You can find that it is producing error because this my bool cannot hold any other data types value. It can hold only true and false as it is showing the respective error message. So the error message is showing that type mismatch cannot convert to int or boolean. From int to boolean, because 100 was int, it cannot be converted to boolean, and that's why it is producing one error at the line number 13 here for this respective Java code. So that's why you can find that this particular boolean variable can hold only the value true and false, cannot hold the value of any other data types data. So that's why in this demonstration we have given you the idea how to deal with the boolean type of variable. Thanks for watching this video.
Strings in Java.
In this demonstration, we are going to discuss how to use string in our Java code. At first, we have defined one character array. This character array is containing these 6 characters, and this is known as a character array. And name of the character array is character string. We have defined one scanner class object as usual. We did that one before also. And we have defined one string class object str is equal to new string. You see in the constructor, string is nothing but a constructor here, this string method, and which is taking this character array as input argument. That means from this character array it will create a string and that will be assigned to str. So using the constructor, passing this character array as input argument to the constructor name here the string function, and this constructor, from this particular constructor, from this character string character array, we are generating a string and that will be assigned to the variable string object str. So say system.out.println, we are printing the value of str, and now we are going for this. So system.out.println, enter a string. So using the scanner class object scanner, using the method that is our next, we are taking one input, one string as input, and that will be returned and that will be assigned to the string object str, and then the str is getting printed. So here we are showing you that how to take the user given input, user given string as input, and how to assign that one to a string class object. Here this str is getting assigned with this particular string. So there is a Java string, so direct assignment we are doing. So direct assign string to the string type object str. Next we are printing the value of this str object. Then we are going for the string concatenation. Concatenation means adding 2 strings. So here we are adding 3 strings. One is a string, next one is this blank, and next one another string, that is concatenate. Here plus operator is being used as the string concatenation operator. So ultimately this concatenated string is getting printed and we are closing this scanner class object. So let us go for the execution. You can find that the value of str is string. That means from this character array which is having these 6 characters, we have generated one string and that has been assigned to this str, and here this string constructor is being used, and this string is a class which is defined under this java.lang package, and it is taking one character array as input and generating one string as output, and that will be assigned to this str, and that has got printed. Now it is asking for the string for input, so I'm going for this hello, and then pressing enter. So the value of str is hello. So now it has taken the input from the keyboard. Next is a function which is accepting a string input and it is returning the string as output, and that will be assigned to this str. str has got printed, so hello has got printed. Now here we are going for the direct assignment of a Java string onto the string object str, and the str has got printed. Now here we have done the concatenation of 3 strings. So here this plus is actually working as a string concatenation operator. So string blank space concatenate, these 3 strings has got added and has been assigned to the string class object, that is str, and str has got printed. So in this demonstration we have given you the idea that how to define one string object, how to initialize one string object directly or taking some inputs from the keyboard or using constructor, and what is string concatenation.
String functions in Java.
In this demonstration we shall discuss how to use different inbuilt library string functions in our Java code and what are their purposes. Here we have defined two string objects, that is str1 initialized with this hello and str2 also initialized with this hello. Here all the letters are in capital. Here's one, the first letter is in capital and rest of the letters are in lowercase. So the first function we are using, that is the str1.length. So str1.length is a function which is defined under the string class. There is a public int length and it denotes that it returns one integer and it is under the public scope. So from the objects, from the string class objects, we can easily access this length function using the dot membership operator. So here see, if you go for the execution, we are getting this length as 5 because hello is having 5 number of characters in it, so its length will be 5 here. Next, str1 dot equals str2. Here both are hello string, but they are not having the same case for all the letters. So that's why str1 dot equals. Now what is equals? So equal is nothing but one method which returns a boolean under the public scope, and the name of the method is equals, which takes object as input argument. You can easily find this one here in the declaration. So now str1 dot equals str2. Now what is the outcome here? We can easily find that hello and hello are not same. That means the control is coming to this else part, because these two strings are not equal because they are having different uppercase and lowercase characters here. So but if you go for another method, that is the equals ignore case. So equal ignore case will be working as the same as equals, but here only the case sensitivity will be ignored in case of equals ignore case function. So it returns one boolean and it takes the string, that is another string, as input argument. So now if you go for str1 dot equals ignore case str2, so it is giving me the output that hello and hello are same, ignoring case. So this is the outcome we are going to get. So this particular statement is getting executed. That means it is going for the then part and else part is remaining unexecuted. Next one, system.out.println, the character at the position number 2 is str1.caret2. So what is a caret? Caret is nothing but one function, that is a public char caret int index. So it returns one character which will be placed at the index position number. Now here we are operating on this str1. We are calling this caret from this str1 string object. So first character will be at the place at the index number 0. So it will be at the index number 0. It will be at the index number 1. So L will be at the index number 2 here. So if I go for the output, we can find that the character at the position 2 is capital L. So that is coming from this L. This L has been retrieved here. Next one, we're going for system.out.println comparing str1 and str2 distance, that is str1.compare to str2. So now here you can find that this H and this H are having the same ASCII code, but this E, capital E and the small e will have the ASCII code difference of 32. We know that capital A is having the ASCII code 65 and the small a is having the ASCII code 97. So always the same character in the lowercase and in the uppercase will have the ASCII code difference of 32. So uppercase characters will have the ASCII code 32 lesser than the same lowercase character. So here we are doing this one as capital H ASCII code minus capital H ASCII code, the value is 0. So for the non-zero difference it will return, for the zero difference it will go on continuing. So the next one, this E ASCII code and this small e ASCII code, the difference value will be minus 32. So as a result of that, we are getting the outcome as minus 32 here, because we know that capital letters ASCII code will be 32 lesser compared to the same letter in the lowercase and its respective ASCII code if we consider. So now we are going to have this str1 and str2 initialized with this strings. You know, the str1 and str2, they have got initialized with these strings. Now for the rest of the operations, we'll be considering them. So here we are having str1 dot starts with AAB. So str1 really it is starting with the string AAB. So now what is the starts with? So starts with is nothing but one function which returns boolean under the public scope. You can easily find, and it will take a string as input argument. So this particular string is nothing but a prefix. So here this AAB is really the substring with the help of which str1 has started. But str1 dot ends with ACA, really it is not ending with this SCA, so here it will be returning the boolean value, and that will be false here. You can find that public boolean ends with string suffix, and here it is returning, we are expecting it to return true here. So let me go for the outcome. You can easily find, so here we are getting this one as true, and here we are getting this one as false, as we have explained earlier. Next one is this one. That means first index of BB in str1 is str1 dot index of BB. You can find that BB is occurring in multiple places in str1, but it will consider the first occurrence of BB. So it is starting from the index number 2 here, because it is 0, index 1 and index 2. So it will be starting from the index number 2. So this is my index of, which is nothing but a function public int index of string str. So there is an integer it will return, that is it will return the index. So let me show you that what is the outcome we are getting. So here we are getting this one as 2, as we expected. Next one is last index of. In case of last index of, we will be searching for BB and the last index will be returned. So now just consider this one as index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the 6th index BB will be found. So we are getting this outcome as from the 6th place. So this part we have covered till now. Next one, we are going for this. Replacing ABB to XY of str1 is, so str1 to replace ABB XY. It is one point to be noted that the string which is going to be replaced is having the length 3, and which will be replacing will be having the length 2. That means these two strings may or may not have the same length here. So you can find that ABB will be obtained here, so that will be replaced by this XY, and this ABB will be obtained here, so that will be replaced by this XY. So now let us go for the outcome. We can find this one as AXY, CXY, and then we are getting this one as AA. So AXY, CXY, AA. So that is the string after getting replaced. Next one is that str2 substring 5, 11. You can find this one as we're having this particular substring, and it is public string substring int begin index, int end index, returns a string that is a substring of the main string. The substring begins at the specified location, that is a specific index, that is the begin index, and extends to the character at the index in the end index -1. So that is very important. That means this 5 will be inclusive, but this 11 will be exclusive. That means it will pick up characters starting from the index 5 to the index 11 -1, that is 10. So let me work on that. So for this str2, so index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is starting from the index number 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will return string whatever we have calculated. So let us go for the checking. So you can find that it is returning the string. So that is the outcome we expected here. Now let us go for the next part of our code. So here we are having we have covered this substring. Now we are going for this split. So this is a test string. str1 is containing that one. So now string array, split array. So split array is the name of the array, which is a string array. And here str1 dot split. This split is actually taking one regular expression as input argument. So it is taking the delimiter with the help of which the string will get splitted. Here the delimiter has been selected as this hyphen here, because the string is containing hyphen for multiple number of times, and the split function returns one string array. So this here the array name is split arr. So now using the for each loop, we are going for string sp colon split arr. We are going to print this value of sp. So for each and every iteration, it will pick up one substring, and that string will go on printing. So you can find this one as this is a test string. So this is the respective substring they have picked up. The string has got splitted into and the outcome will be has been kept in the string array. And now using the for each loop, we are picking up each and every string from the string array and printing that one accordingly. Now this is my string, which is str2, where we are having lots of blank spaces are there, lots of blank spaces prepended and appended here. So if we print this str2, the outcome will be like this. you can find that this str2 has got printed. So before doing the trim operation, you can find that so many blank spaces beforehand and so many blank spaces afterhand. But if you go for str2.trim, you can find that these two brackets are coming very packed, very tight here. That means all the redundant blank spaces, leading and trailing, they have got truncated out, they have got discarded here. So let me do one experiment. If I put multiple blank spaces within the string itself, not only the leading and trailing, but multiple blank spaces within the string itself, then what will be the outcome? You see, the trim is doing nothing with the blank spaces, multiple consecutive blank spaces within the string. So that is not getting discarded. They are remaining the same, but all the leading and trailing blank characters will be discarded, will be truncated out using the method that is a trim. So if you put my mouse pointer on this trim, we are finding this one as public string trim. So trim is nothing but a function defined under the string class, and it returns the trimmed string as outcome, as the output. So in this way, we have used multiple different inbuilt functions in our string class in our sample program.
In this video, we are discussing array list in Java.
In this demonstration, we are going to discuss array list. Here we have defined one array list class object, that is our city list, which will be containing string type objects. So how to add the string type strings with this particular city list? So citylist.add Delhi, citylist.add Kolkata. In this way, we are passing multiple string class objects and they are getting added with this city list, that is the array list class object. Now what is the size of this city list? So how many elements it is containing, so that will decide the size. So here we are expecting the size should be 5 here. So let me execute my code. I'm finding that the size of the array list is 5 here. So that is the citylist.size is actually giving us the count of respective string objects residing in this citylist array list class object. So system.out.println cities : concatenation citylist. You can find that the respective city names are getting printed. So Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai and Lucknow, they have got printed. Next, using for each loop, we are going to retrieve city name one after another for each and every iteration, one at a time. So display the content of the array list one by one. So here we are using the for each loop. So for string city : city list system.out.println city. So it will produce outcome like this. So here we are having this, all these city names which are the string objects are getting picked up one at a time in each and every iteration of this for each loop. Insert another city at the index number 2 in the city list. So in that case, we can go for citylist.add 2, Mumbai. So at the second place, we know that the first place has started from the index 0. So at the second place, at the index number 2 rather, we are going to insert this Mumbai here. So let us go for the outcome. You can find that 0, 1, 2. At the second index, we have inserted this new city name, that is the Mumbai. You can find that other city names Hyderabad, Chennai, Lucknow, which were at the second subscript, third subscript and the fourth subscript, so they have got shifted. So now if we go on printing the size of this array list object, we are going to get here 6 in this case. So in this demonstration, we have discussed how to deal with the array list class objects in our Java code.
Now let us discuss sets in Java.
In this demonstration, we shall discuss the set interface and its respective objects and how to deal with them. Here we have defined two integer arrays, list1 and list2. So, and these are the set of data it is having. You can find that some duplicate data are also present. We have defined one set interface object, that is set1. You can find that this set is this interface I is written here is under the package that is the java.util, a collection that contains no duplicate elements, and more formally set contains no pair of elements e1 and e2 such that e1 dot equals e2 and at most one null element. As implied by its name, this interface models the mathematical set abstraction. So here you can find that we have defined two set interface objects, set1 and set2 is equal to new has set. The constructor has been called here. So now we are having two integer arrays, and now we are populating this set1 and set2, adding these items, picking up from these integer arrays, at first from the list1 to set1 and then from list2 to set2. So here we have used the for each loop. So for item int item colon list1, so each and every item will be picked up one at a time. Each and every integer data will be picked up one at a time, and then that will get added with the set1. And you can find that the set1 is actually the object under the interface set, and here the set will hold the integer, that is a wrapper class objects. So system.out.println, the first set will be printed and the second set will be printed. You can find that we're having this first set has got printed, so it has got printed in this way 1 2, and then it is having 5, then 6, then 12. You see the duplicate data have got removed. There is no duplicate data here, and they have got sorted automatically. So now we are having this the second one, that is a 12 4 3 2 4 15. You can find that it has become 2 3 4 12 and 15 here. Now we shall go for the set operations. The union of two sets, we have defined one set interface object, that is the union is equal to new has set, which will be containing the typecasting has been done as integer wrapper class object, and then set1. So using this set1 members, this union will get populated, and now this union is having all the items from set1, and then union dot add all set2. So add items of the set2 with the set1 items which are residing in this union, that is a interface set object. So now if I go on printing the current value of union, then I'm getting this one. You can find that all the data items are unique, all the data items are distinct, so there is no repetition of data items, and the items have been printed in the sorted form. So now we shall go for the intersection. So we have defined the one set interface object, that is the intersection, which will hold this integer wrapper class objects as its items, and intersection dot return all. Just remember this method. That method is return all, and that is useful to do the intersection of two sets, and here add all, that was used to do the union of two sets here. So return all set2. So now this intersection current content has got printed. You can find that it has got printed as 2 and 12, because 2 and 12 are the common elements between this set1 and set2. Now we shall go for the difference. So now the method will be remove all. That means at first the difference has got instantiated with the items from set1, and then diff dot remove all set2. So remove common elements from the two sets, and in this way we are going to get the updated content and the reduced content of diff. Okay, so now you see this is my set1 and this is my set2 here. We have printed them earlier. So now if you go for set1 minus set2, I'm remaining with this 1 5 and 6, because in between these two sets only 2 is common. So 2 is common, and then this 1 5 6 12 is also common here. So that's why 1 5 6 is only the outcome of the difference set1 minus set2. In this way, in this demonstration, we have discussed a lot on this set interface and how to deal with its methods, and how to define the respective objects, how to initialize them, and we have discussed that one into details with some sample coding.
In this video, we are discussing comparator to short lists.
We are defining one class, that is the string compare, which implements the interface comparator. This comparator interface is defined under the package java.util, and this particular comparator interface is having only one unimplemented method, that is the compare. So this the compare is the one unimplemented method in this interface, that is the comparator. And in this particular compare, we are having two input arguments, that is the TO1 and TO2, that is a type object 1 and type object 2. Let us go for detailed description here. You can find that compares it two arguments for the order return a negative integer 0 or a positive integer as the first argument is less than, equal to or greater than the second argument, and that is the purpose of this compare. So compare is the method which we have implemented here, which returns return str1 dot compare to str2. Here we have passed this string str1 and str2 as two objects to this compare method. So string compare is nothing but our user defined class which is implementing the interface comparator, which is defined under the package java.util. So here we are having another class, that is our comparator demo. Under the main function we have defined one array list object, that is a city list, and we have added multiple string objects to this city list array object, and we have printed the current content of the city list. So let us go for the execution. You can find that we have printed all the current content of the city list, and when the cities are unsorted, so Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai and Lucknow, they have got printed. Now sort the array list in the alphabetical order using the method sort, and as an input argument we are passing the string comparator class object which has already implemented the comparator interface and also implemented the method, that is a compare. So city list dot sort new string compare. So here we are calling the string compare class constructor. That means with the new we are actually passing the string compare class object as input argument to this sort method. So now if we go on printing this array list content, we are getting that this array list content have got sorted in the alphabetical order. So now the order has become Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Lucknow, and you can find that they have got sorted in the alphabetical order in the ascending order. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have shown you that how to use the comparator interface in our Java code.
The queue in Java.
In this program, we have defined one object myQueue. This object has been defined under the interface. You can find that in the help we are finding this one as interface. There is a java.util.queue. So java.util is the package name and queue is the respective interface. And this queue has got instantiated using is equal to new linked list constructor here. So how to add members to this queue object, that is a myQueue. And this myQueue will be holding integer, that is a wrapper class objects as its member. So to add the new elements, we are going to go for new items. We are going to go for this method add. So using the method add, we can add new items to this myQueue, that is a queue interface object. So new myQueue.add 10, myQueue.add 40, myQueue.add 50. In this way we have added 5 such elements. We know that queue is a data structure which supports first in first out or last in last out. That means we can think that this 10 is at the front end of the queue and 50 will be found at the rear end of the queue. So now if I want to print the number of elements we are having, number of items we are having within this myQueue, there is a queue interface object. The method is size. With the help of size we can print it. How many items we have added here? 5 items. So we are expecting that myQueue.size will print 5 here. Yes, the queue size is 5. Now we are going to pick the first element. That means in this case the first element will be read, but it will not get deleted from the queue. And you can find that here we are getting this first element as 10 because 10 is at the front end and 50 is at the rear end. So the first element will be at the front end, so the value is 10, but the 10 has not got deleted from the myQueue object. It is still there, the item is still there. Now using this while loop, so myQueue.isEmpty, so when the queue will become empty, then isEmpty will return true, then not of true will become false, then we can come out from this while. But when this isEmpty will be returning false, that means the queue is still having some items, then not of false will become true, the while will continue doing the iteration. So how to remove elements from the queue? That is a myQueue.remove. So remove is the method with the help of which you can eliminate the element which will be found at the front end of the queue. So the popped item is this one. Also in case of popped item, you can go for removed item. That will be better here. So the removed item is this one. So let me go for the execution. You can find that the remove item will be 10, then 40, then 30, then 20, then the rearest object, that is the rearmost object, that is a 50, is getting printed here. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have discussed how to define and deal with queue objects.
In this video, we are discussing the stack class in Java.
We have defined one stack object, stack class object, that is the myStack, which will hold the integer wrapper class objects as its members. So is equal to new stack constructor. So now how to put our elements, that is the integer objects, within this myStack stack object here. So stack is the name of the class, myStack is the object under the stack class. So the method is push. With the help of push, we can put our integer objects within this myStack object. So you can find that myStack.push 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. So 50 will be at the top and 10 will be at the bottom here. So now we are going to print the size of this myStack. So as we have pushed 5 such elements, so that's why 5 such integer class objects, so that's why the stack size is 5 here. Now we are going to introduce one method, that is a pick. This particular pick method will actually check the topmost element of the stack, but it will not delete it from the top. It will only just check the current content of the topmost element of the stack here. So when you are going for this pick, and later when you are printing, that is the myStack.pick method, we are printing the current content, whatever has been picked, it is printing 50 here. So now using this while body, so not myStack.isEmpty, so isEmpty will be returning true, and when the isEmpty will be returning true, then I should come out from this while. So that's why I have used the not operator there. So true, not of true will become false, so it will come out from this while. So that's why while not myStack.isEmpty, so that is another method we are getting defined under the stack class here. So that is our isEmpty, and here you can find that isEmpty is the method which returns the boolean, and it returns the boolean. It is defined under the actual class is a vector, and isEmpty is the method, and this vector is under the package java.util. So as this particular while will be executing until the stack is getting empty, so the while will get executed, and each and every iteration will be picking up one of the elements from the stack. So myStack.pop is the respective method which returns this integer class object. We can, because here we are having this myStack, we defined that it will be holding the integer wrapper class objects, and the method is the public e and then pop, removes the object at the top of the stack and returns that object as the value of this function. So in this way it will return. So let me go for the output. You can find that 50 has been returned at first, then 40, then 30, then 20, and then the bottommost element 10 will be returned at the last, and then myStack.isEmpty will return true, not of true will become false, so it will come out from this while loop. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have discussed that how to deal with the stack class objects in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing linked list in Java.
In this program, we shall deal with linked list class objects. So here you can find that we are creating one linked list. The object name is int list, which is containing integer wrapper class type of objects. So how to add new members to this int list? The method is add, and here you are passing 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 as input arguments. So after adding all these members, we are going to print the size of this int list and also the current content of this int list. The size is a method with the help of which we can get the number of members this linked list is having. So let us go for the execution. You can find that it is printing the size as 5, because here we are having 5 elements, or that these elements are nothing but integer wrapper class objects, and we are having the values say 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 in the order in which they added up with this linked list class object int list. Now here we are defining one array. This is a simple array, int array, and name of the array is array, having got elements that is 5, 15, 30, 80, 60 and 25. So now we are going to define another array list. So here the array list object is arr list is equal to new array list, and then with this array list we are adding this items. We are adding item, picking up item one at a time from the integer array. And here we are using this for each loop where item will get initialized with one of the members one at a time depending upon the iteration from the integer array. So now we are going to print this array list. So the array list size is getting printed. The method is same, that is the size, and here we are printing the current content of the array list. So here you can find that here we are printing this array list, and there we are printing that linked list here. So let us make this one. It is better. Let us go for this array list. So this array list size and the respective contents are getting printed. Now let me go for the execution to show you that the linked list size is 5, the content is this, the array list size is 6, and the content is this one as we expecting. Okay, so as we are expecting, we are getting this output. Now see, in this int list we are adding all the members. So the method name is add all. We are adding all the members from the index number 2. From the index number 2 onwards, that is the array list content will get inserted from the index number 2. All the members of this array list. How many members this array list is having? This array list is having 6 members, 5, 15, 30, 80, 60 and 25. So all these members will get inserted starting from the index number 2. And later we are going to print this int list size and the current content of the int list. We know that int list is nothing but linked list class object, and which is defined to hold the integer wrapper class objects as its content. So now let me go for the execution. You can find that the linked list size is 11. Why 11? Because 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. And from the second index onwards, you can easily find that from the second index onwards, I'm just going for this, so location number 5 onwards rather. So we are going to have this set of elements, we're going to have this set of elements, that is 5, 15, 30, 80, 60 and 25. They are nothing but the array list content, and they have got inserted starting from the index 2, and from the 0th place and the 1 place we are having this index number 0 and 1 is still holding 10 and 20, and from this particular index we are having this 30, 40 and 50 as usual. So in this way, in this demonstration, we have shown you that how to define linked list objects and how to call different methods from this object itself.
In this video, we are going to discuss another looping construct in Java, that is a for loop in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing about the for loop in Java. So int sum is equal to 0. So the sum has got initialized with the value 0 of the type integer. And then for int a is equal to 0, semicolon, a less than 10, semicolon, a plus plus. That means here we are defining one variable and initializing it with 0. So that is a loop control variable. Here the a is known as the loop control variable. So at first the initialization, then semicolon, then you will be having one condition. Depending upon the condition, it will be decided whether the loop will get executed further or it will get terminated. And then semicolon, and then we'll be having increment or decrement factor of this a of this particular loop control variable. So at first initialization, then semicolon, then condition, then semicolon, then increment or decrement of the loop control variable value. So this is the basic syntax, the basic grammar of this for. So now when this condition will be true, then this block will get executed. What we are doing here, actually we are printing one line, and then we are going for sum is equal to sum plus a, and outside of the loop sum has got initialized with the value 0. So a can have maximum value as it is getting increased by 1 starting from 0. So a can have maximum value, that is 9, and 9 less than 10, the condition will be true. So this sum can add with the values ranging from 0 to 9, because a can range from 0 to 9. Because after 9, when the value of a will get incremented by 1, when the value of a will get incremented by 1, so it will become 10. So 10 less than 10, the condition will become false. So it will come out from the loop, for loop, and this line will get printed. So let us go for the execution for the better clarity. You can find that the value of a is ranging from 0 to 9, and these values are getting added with the sum, and at the end, after getting out from the loop, we're printing that the value of sum is 45. That means when the value of a will be equal to 10, then it is coming out from the loop. So that's why if we print the value of a outside here, if you print the value of a outside of this loop, I'm expecting that it will print the value a as 10 here. Is a loop control variable, so that's why it is not having the scope outside. So it is better to go for here int a. Okay, so I'm defining this a. If we write this int a here, that means this scope will be confined within this for loop only, so not accessible from the outside. But if I define this variable a outside of this loop, then obviously it is accessible after the for loop also. So now let me go for the execution. You can find that a is equal to 10. We are finding the value of a is becoming 10. So 10 less than 10, the condition is becoming false. So that's why it is coming out from the loop. Now see, instead of having this, we are not erasing the semicolon. Instead of having this, also you can write directly here. Okay, so now let me go for the execution. You can find you are going to have the same output. Instead of writing this a plus plus, instead of writing this a plus plus here, I can also put this a plus plus here. I can also put this a plus plus here. You can find that we're having the same output whatever you are getting, but don't omit this semicolon. So semicolons should be there, but you can have this initialization statement and this increment or decrement statement in other part. If I write a plus plus here, so let me go for another experiment. If I write a plus plus, so you see for each and every iteration, a is getting incremented by 1 here and then 1 here. So a is getting incremented by 2 for each and every iteration. So if I go for the execution, you can find that the value of a will get incremented by 2 always. So after coming out from 8, it is becoming 10. So when it is becoming 10, it is coming out from the loop, and now we are getting this 10 as the final value for a after coming out from the loop. So 0 plus 2 is 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 8. So I'm getting here 20 as a sum. So I think now the conception is getting clear to you that how to use the for loop in our Java code. And whenever we require some iteration, we require some looping, if we require some repetitive work, we can use for, we can use do while, or we can use while do.
In this video, we are discussing while loop in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing how to use while loop in our Java code. So here we are planning to add numbers ranging from 0 to 9, and the sum thus obtained, the total thus obtained, that will get printed, and this iteration, this looping will be done using while statement. So a is equal to 0, a will be the term which will be ranging from 0 to 9, and then sum is equal to 0, initializing sum with the value 0 here. While a less than 10, so that means 9 will be the maximum value a can take because a is of the type of integer, and system.out.println, the value of a is getting printed. Sum is equal to sum plus a. So initially the sum value was 0, and now the sum will get increased by the value of a, and each and every time a is incremented, increase the value of a. So what will happen? Initially the value of a was 0, then it will become 1, then it will become 2. In this way it will proceed, and it will proceed up to a is less than 10. So maximum it can proceed up to 9. So when the value of a will become 10, it will come out from the loop, and after exiting from the loop, we'll be printing the value of sum. So let us go for the execution. You can find that we have added the value of a as 0, and then a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that's why, and the sum of the numbers from 0 to 9 is equal to 45. So sum is getting printed. So what is happening when the last 9 is getting added with the sum, the a is getting incremented by 1 back again, so it has become 10. So while 10 less than 10, the condition is false. So when the condition is false, the control cannot go into the while block within the while statements. What are the statements we have written within the curly braces? So the control is coming out and printing the sum of the numbers from 0 to 9 and concatenation sum. So that's why if we print the value of So I'm expecting that here the value of a after coming out from this while block will be getting this one as my 10 here, because the 9 plus 1, the 10 will be obtained. you can find that after coming out from this while body, and it is having the value of a is equal to 10, and 10 less than 10 caused false. So this condition is causing false, is producing the output false. So that's why this particular while false, the control cannot go into the while body, so it has come out, and then the next statements, whatever there in the program code, they are supposed to get executed. I think we are getting this idea that how this while works in our Java program.
Functions in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing Java functions. Java functions can be categorized in two different categories. One is the user-defined function, or in short can be called as UDF, where the function prototype, the function body, will be written by the programmer. Another function is known as the inbuilt function or predefined function or library functions, which function bodies are pre-written and we are supposed to use them as when required in our code. A function can be recursive, can be also non-recursive. So let us go for the function examples. So a function should have a return type. The return type may be void also, or any other data type. Then the function name will be there. Then optional input argument or argument list will be there. So that is a basic prototype of a function. So public static int add int a comma int b. So here the name of the function is add, and it takes the two input arguments, that is int a and int b. That means it is taking two arguments of the both of the type integer, and then it returns int. That means it returns one value which is of the type of integer. It is defined as static. That means this function can be called without defining the function class object, and this function is under the public scope, can be accessed outside of the class also. Within the function, we have defined one local variable, and that is the int sum. So that is the local variable there. A and b are the input arguments, input parameters, so they will get added, and sum will hold the sum to total of these two a and b variables, and then return sum. We know that sum is having the data type integer, so as it is returning, so that's why this function will have the integer as a return type. Next one, we are having one recursive function. We know that in case of recursive function, the function will have a capability to call itself. That means here you can see that within this factorial function body, we are calling the factorial itself. And another property will be there, a function will be recursive if it is having some base cases. Base cases means for certain inputs, the outputs are known to us. In those cases, it is known as the base case, and the recursive function will have the capability to call itself either directly or indirectly. So here we are observing the direct calling, because within the function body itself, the function itself has called. So if num is less than equal to 0, so actually you are calculating the factorial of a given number. Here the number has been passed as argument, input argument, and the variable is num. So if the num is less than equal to 1, that means if the num is 0 or if the number is 1, then we are going for this return num. So when the number is 1 or less than that, the factorial will be 1 here. So I think it would be better if we return this one as 1, because in case of 0 factorial also, the return value will be 1. Otherwise what will happen, it will return num star factorial num minus 1. That means if I want to calculate the factorial of 4, then actually the factorial of 4 can be written as 4 into 3 factorial. That means we are calculating the factorial of num minus 1, and that will get multiplied with the num, and that will be returned as the output argument. So in this way, we are writing one recursive function here. So let us go for the main function. So num is equal to 5, and result we have defined, res result variable we have defined. So at first we are using some library functions or predefined functions or pre-written function. Here the function is pow. So math.pow. So math is a respective class name, and it is defined under the java.lang package, and pow is a function which will take two double as input argument, and it returns the double as output. So this is the num we are passing, that is a 5, and 3 we are passing. So actually it is calculating num to the power of 3. It is actually calculating num to the power of 3. So here you see, here this num is equal to 5. So actually 5 to the power of 3 is being calculated. So 5 comma 3 has been passed, and its output argument has been done typecast to integer, and that will be assigned to res, because res is nothing but result of the type of integer variable, and this result value is going to get printed. Here we are calling this user defined function non-recursive. We are passing this 15 and 20. So this 15 is getting assigned to A and this 20 will be getting assigned to B. So 15 plus 20 will be done and that will be assigned to sum, and the value of sum will be returned, and the return argument will be dumped onto this result variable, and this result variable is getting printed here. So whatever the output argument is obtained from this add function, that will be initializing this result variable, res variable, and the result variable is getting printed. Now to calculate the factorial, we are calling this recursive function factorial, which takes only one parameter as input. So here we are passing this 6. So 6 will be assigned to num and the corresponding factorial is going to get calculated. So let us go for the execution here. So 5 to the power of 3 is 125. So 10 plus 15 plus 20, rather it is 15 plus 20. So 15 plus 20 is equal to 35, and then factorial 6 is equal to 720. So in this way, in this particular example and demonstration, we have discussed that how to define recursive functions, non-recursive functions, how to use user-defined functions, predefined functions in our Java code, and what are the different syntaxes and what are the different issues. We have discussed that one into details with proper example.
In this video, we are discussing break statement in Java.
How to use break statement in Java, we shall discuss that in this session. So let us suppose we have defined one variable a initialized with the value 0 of the type integer. While true, that means we are going to execute one infinite loop, because the true means always the condition will remain true. So while true will form an infinite loop, go on executing. Within this loop body, we are just printing the current value of a, and then we are checking if the value of a is equal to 10, then break. Break means it will come out from the loop body. That means within this curly braces, we are having one loop body. So this is the loop body we are having. So if a is equal to 10, then it will come out from this loop body. That means the next line, whatever there after this while, will get executed. So let us put another line here for the better understanding. Okay, end of the program is a line. So when the value of a will be equal to 10, after printing this a, when the value of a will be equal to 10, then it will break, it will come out from the loop body, and the remaining part of the program will get executed. Otherwise, it will just increase the value of a by 1. So let me go for the execution. You can find that the loop is getting executed for a is equal to 0 to 10, then it is coming out from the loop body, and end of the program, that message, the string is getting printed. So you are getting the idea what is the purpose of break statement in our Java code.
Continue statement in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing about the continue statement, how to use continue statement in our Java code. We have defined one integer variable a initialized with the value 0. While true, that means we are going to have one infinite loop. It will go on executing forever. And here, if the value of a is greater than equal to 5 and a is less than equal to 10, that means when the value of a will be ranging from 5 to 10 inclusive of the limit values, then the value of a will get incremented and continue. That means the control will be going to this while line once again. So what will happen if you come to the execution of the statement continue, then control will go to the while directly without executing the rest part of the while body. So the rest part of the while body will remain unreachable and will remain unexecuted. Okay. So if the value of a is below 5, that means from 0 to 4, or above 10, that is 11 onwards, then the value of a will get printed. And if the value of a is equal to 15, then break, that means control will come out from the while body. Otherwise, the value of a will keep remaining incremented. So let us go for the output. You can find that when the value of a is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this line is getting control, because a greater than equal to 5 and a less than equal to 10, this condition is becoming false. So continue could not get executed. But for a is equal to 5 to 10, this particular if was true, and then a got incremented, but the rest part of the code remain unexecuted, so the value of a could not get printed. Continue make the control go to the while statement once again back. But when the value of a will become 11, then the control will come to this line, so value of a will get printed. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. When the value of a will be equal to 15, then break is actually breaking this, is just breaking this particular block, and control will come out from the while body, and next statements whatever are there in the respective code will get executed. So let us put one statement here so that you can feel that really that statement is getting executed. Okay, so now let me go for the execution. You can find that after 15 the control is coming out from this while construct, and rest part of the code will get the control and they will get executed. So in this way, in this demonstration, we have shown you the use of continue statement in our Java code, and where and why you should use the continue, so that we have discussed with proper example.
In this video, we are going to discuss switch case statements in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing switch case statement in Java. So in this program, we have defined one scanner class object, and then we are asking user to enter a character. So scanner.next, this is a method next, with the help of which we can take a string from the keyboard as input, and .caret0, it will take the first character of the string, and that will be assigned to the character variable. So now we have taken input from the keyboard, and this is nothing but one character. And now switch character, depending upon the character value, we are having multiple cases are there. Case capital A, case capital B, case capital C, case capital D. Otherwise, the default case will be this one. So default will be coming always at the last of the switch case statement construct. So now if the case is A, that means if the character is equal to capital A, then this line is going to get printed, and break will terminate, will make the logic come out from this switch case construct, and the next line whatever is having in the code will get executed. So break will actually terminate and the execution of the switch case statement block, and it will come out, the control will come out from the switch case construct, and whatever the lines are written after this switch case, they are supposed to get executed next. So let us go for execution. I think that will clear up your conception. So now if I put here capital A, I'm getting, you have typed letter A, end of the program is getting executed at the end. If I go for another input, say if I go for say capital B, I'm getting this one. If I go for capital C, I'm getting this one. If I go for capital D, you can find that you have typed the letter D is going to get printed. You can find that end of the program is always getting executed, because the break is actually keep making the control come out from this switch case construct, and next part of the program is supposed to get executed. So now if I put any other value other than A, B, C, D, let us suppose I'm putting here R, then you have typed letter other than A, B, C and D. So in this way, the default block is getting executed. So if you don't put this break, then what will happen? Say let us suppose I'm just omitting this break here. I'm just omitting this break. Then what will happen? If I put the value A, in that case, you can find that you have typed the letter A and break is still there. So that's why the control will come out from this switch case, and then the next line is getting executed as well. But if I give the input say capital B, in that case, then what will happen? If I give the input capital B, you have typed letter B, you have typed letter C. So B and C, these two statements are getting executed because the break is not there, and due to this particular break statement available here, the control is coming out, and the end of the program is getting executed. So keeping this one in mind, what we can do, we can go for another time execution. Instead of giving capital A, if I give small a, then what will happen? So capital A, we are having a case for capital A, but no case for small a. So that's why the control is coming to the default block, and you have typed the letter other than A, B, C, D. That statement is getting executed. But let us suppose I want to execute this one. for capital A and also for small a. Then what should I do? Then I can do one thing. Just see here. We can go for this and we can make this one small a. So what will happen for this capital A? There is no break. So that's why control will come to this block and this block will get executed. So let me show you that one. I'm going for this small b. So if I give small b, the line is getting executed. So small b, the line is getting executed. You have typed letter b, and then if you give the capital B also, we are getting the same thing. So let us test with a also. Small a, you have typed letter a. We're having this capital A, you have typed letter A. So in this way you can also have your case without any break, which is very much purposeful in this particular example. So in this demonstration we have discussed that how to use the switch case construct in our Java. I think you are getting this idea. In your code also you can use this one. This particular switch case can also be represented using if and nested if, but this is a smarter way to represent. So it will bring more clarity in our code.
In this video, we are discussing class and objects in Java.
In this demonstration, we shall discuss class and object in Java. So here the name of the class is student, and this particular class is having 3 member variables of the student class, and their string name, int id, and string measure. So as here we haven't mentioned them that they are under a private scope or public scope, that means they are in the default scope. So here we are having one method. The name of the method is setName. From the name of the method, it is quite obvious that it will take one string as input and which will set the name instance variable here. And similarly for set measure, it takes a string as input argument and it initializes the measure instance variable. And the display method is actually printing the name, id, and the measure, and in this way all the 3 instance variable contents will get printed using this display method. So here the name of the program is class object.java. You can find that this particular class is having class object.java. You can easily find that in the same Java source code we have declared 2 classes. One is the class student and another one is the class object. So what will happen if we define multiple classes in the same Java program, in the same Java source code, then one of the classes will be of the type will be under the scope public, and main function will be defined in one of the classes only. So this public static void main string array args, and here we have defined 2 objects under the student class, and those 2 objects have got instantiated, memory spaces have got allocated, and they have got instantiated by using new student class constructor. Now we are using the set name, we are using the set measure to initialize the name and the measure instance variables, and directly we are writing s1.id is equal to 1021 to instantiate or to initialize this id instance variable. So similarly we have done the same for the s2. S2 is another object under the class student and which has got instantiated using the constructor of the student class. And now we are going for the s1.display and s2.display methods. So let us go for the output. So the student name Joy has been printed, the student ID 1021, and major subject here computer science, and in this case the name and the ID and the subject has got printed, and they have got printed after calling the method s1.display method and s2.display method. So in this way we have discussed that how the Java, in case of Java, how we can define one class and then how to define objects under the class and access class members.
In this video, we are going to discuss static keyword in Java.
In this demonstration, we shall discuss the keyword static in our Java programming. Now, what is the static keyword? So here we are having one class. The name of the class is static demo, and it is having int static var. So there is one variable, and this variable is of type static. And this is another variable which is a non-static, that is int var. So static variable we have defined as static var of type int, and non-static variable we have defined as var of the type int. So this is the constructor which will initialize the non-static variable var, which will be equal to 0. Next one, here we have defined another static method. Here we have defined one static variable. Here we have defined the static method. So public static void set static var int x, and this x will be assigned to this static var, that is a static variable. So always remember, in case of static method, they can access only the static variables. Non-static variables cannot be accessed from here. So if I want to write this one as a var, say is equal to 100, if I write here, so it is having one error message is coming, and that error message is telling that cannot make a static reference to the non-static field var. So that is the error message we are getting, because non-static method cannot access static method cannot access non-static variables. So that is very important. Next method is known as the increase. This method will increase the value of the static var by 1 and also value of the non-static var, that is var, as 1. So in this way, two variables have got increased here. So we have got one lesson that static method can access only the static variables, but non-static method can access both the static and non-static variables. Next one is the display, which will print the current value of static var and the current value of var as well. So now here we are defining the class, that is the keyword static. So under this particular keyword static, we are defining the main function. We are defining two demostatic objects, that is the st1 and st2. They are defined under the class demostatic and instantiated with the constructor and the new keyword. So here we are having this st1 dot increase, st1 dot increase. So 2 times the static variable will be increased here. Always remember, so irrespective of the number of objects we are going to define under the class, here is static demo, only one instance of the static variable will be defined here. So only one instance of the static variable. So this static var will be defined once only, irrespective of the number of objects we are going to define under this class, that is the static demo. As a result of that, st1, when it is increasing the static var by 1, then same increase function will be called from the st2, it will be also increasing the same static var by 1. But as the var is a non-static variable, so it will have a 2 separate instance with respect to st1 and sp2 separately. So as a result of that, when we are calling this st1 dot increase, the var which is getting increased 2 times, because we have called this this function increase twice, so this instance will be totally different from this st2 dot var. When we are calling this increase for 3 times, so another new instance of var will remain created against this st2 object, and that will get increased for 3 times. So I think now the conception will be cleared if I go for the execution. So the value of the static variable is 2 and value of the non-static variable is 2 here, because here we have called this st1 dot increase 2 times. So the static and the non-static, both the variables have got increased by 1 and 1, and initially their values were 0 here, because we have initialized this one as 0, and automatically the static var will be instantiated with the value 0, will be initialized with the value 0 initially. So st1 dot display is displaying that both the variables are having a value 2 and 2. Now from this st2, this increase function has got called thrice. So the static variable will get increased starting from 2. So 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. But this var will be having a separate instance for the new object st2. So it will be increased from 0 to 1, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. As a result of that, when we are going for st2 dot display, we are finding that the static variable is having the value 5 and the non-static variable var is having the value 3 here. Here we are having the set static var. So here we are putting this 50, and 50 will be assigned to this static var variable. So if I print this particular variable, we can have this one as 50. You can find that we are having this one as 50. So this particular method, static method, has been accessed from the class name directly. From the class name directly it can be accessed, and this static variable can be accessed from the class name. Now if I use this one as st1, and also here as st1, you can find that they are executable, and we are getting this same output here. Static variable without object is 50. So now if I call it from the st2 also, they are accessible because they are static. So irrespective of the number of objects we are defining under the class, the static demo, these two static members, variables and methods, will have a single instance in the computer's memory, and they can be accessed either using object name dot or using class name dot directly. So in this way we have shown you that how to use the static keyword in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing priority queue in Java.
When we define one class which is implementing comparable interface, you can write a sample code for you. So class say st implements comparable. So here I am putting this one as st. Then you can find that as it is one interface, it is having some unimplemented methods. So if you go on adding this unimplemented method, we are getting the method that is a compare2. So compare2 will take the class object, st class object as input, and it returns one integer. So we are supposed to rewrite the code or the body for this compare2 method. So we have applied the same here. So let me go for my coding. So class student implements comparable student. So private int rank and private string name. So these two are instance variable. One is a rank, another one is a name of the type int and string class objects. So this is our student is the constructor which will take this name and rank as input parameters, and they will get input arguments, and they will instantiate this instance variable, that is the this dot rank and this dot name. Now there is a compare2 which is there unimplemented in this interface, that is a comparable. So comparable is nothing but one interface. You can find it here, and it is defined under the package java.lang. So this is a compare2 we have written. So this is our input argument will be one student class object. So let it be st. So it will compare the rank of the student with another student. So if rank is less than st.rank, then return -1. Else if rank is greater than st.rank, then return 1, otherwise return 0. So depending upon the value of this dot rank and st.rank, the either -1 or 1 or 0 will be returned as I have shown here. Also we are overwriting the method that is a toString. So there is a string result is equal to student name concatenation rank and concatenation rank here, and return result. So string will be returned as the output argument for this toString method. So now here we have defined one class, that is a priority queue. Under this class we have defined the main function. So priority queue class object, there is a student queue, and which will hold the student class objects as its elements. So student class we have defined here. So it is nothing but implementing the comparable interface, and we also have overridden the respective method compare2. So priority queue is nothing but the name of the class, and then student is the respective objects which will be residing in this priority queue object, that is a student queue as items, and is equal to new priority queue. We are calling the constructor here. So student queue dot add. So using this add method, we can go on adding or inserting new students into this priority queue. So here we are having this Ashish, that is the name, and 5 is the respective role, rank rather you can say. So here you see this is my rank will be there, and the name is there. At first I'm passing this name as input parameter and rank as the second parameter here. So name is Ashish, rank is 5, name is Borun, rank is 3. You can easily call that this student is actually implementing this comparable interface. So what will happen when they will get inserted? So they will remain shorted accordingly depending upon the rank of the student. So here you see we have added 5 such student items here. So insert students into the priority queue, and but when we shall go for the printing of its content, we'll be finding them in the sorted order. So we shall come that point later. So at first we are going to print the size of this student queue. as we have inserted 5 items, so the size of the queue will be 5 here. Now we are creating one iterator to iterate through this queue. So iterator it is equal to student queue dot iterator. Now we know that we are having the method that is a has next, which is returning a boolean. So it dot has next, so when it is true, then we are printing this student queue dot poll dot to string. So in this way you are just printing this one. So student queue dot poll, so we are retrieving each and every element from here for each and every iteration, and then we are just calling this method to string, which we have overridden here, which will print the name and the rank accordingly. Remember, we entered and inserted, and these new elements got added to this student queue in the order that is Ashish 5, then Borun 3, then Monish 1, then Shovik 4, and Rahul 2. So in the execution you are finding that they are coming like, say, Monish 1 with the rank 1 has come at the first, then Rahul with the rank 2, then Borun with the rank 3, then Shovik with the rank 4, and Ashish with the respective rank 5 here. In this way we have given you the idea that how to deal with the priority queue class objects in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing enumeration and iterators.
See, at the line number 7, we have defined one string array. The name of the array is word array and containing this set of strings here. We are defining one vector class object that is a word list, and which is getting populated directly from the content of the word array. So what is the code here? So new vector, and this arrays dot as list, the method name is as list, and which is taking this string array as input, and its content will populate this vector object that is a word list. And later we have printed this word list. So the word list colon, we are doing the concatenation of this word list, and here is the outcome for it. You can find that the word list is containing, that is the current content of this word list, that is a vector object is having this one. So book, number, place, lemon, apple, and tree. In this way the word list has got the outcome, has produced the output, concatenating its content with this string here. So now here we are having another class, that is the enumeration. This particular class is having one object that is a vector enum. You can find that this word list, which is nothing but a vector class object dot elements. So elements is a method with the help of which we can directly populate values to this enumeration object that is a vector enum. So enumeration iterates through vector. So in this way you can find that this vector object word list dot elements is a method with the help of which we can directly populate or instantiate and the vector enum, that is the enumeration class object. You can find here this particular elements, you can find that it is having the prototype enumeration string, that means it returns this enumeration class object, and this elements is under the class vector under the package java.util. So next one is that how to retrieve elements from this vector enum, that is the enumeration class object. The vector enum dot has more elements. So this is the method we are having. This method returns boolean. That means when it returns true, then the while will be continuing with the iterations. When it will return false, then while loop will terminate. So system.out.println vector enum dot next element. So next element is a respective method which returns the current content, the next element's content of this vector, that is a vector enum object, that is object of enumeration class. So linked list class object is word linked list is equal to new linked list. There is a constructor we are calling, and this linked list will be holding the string objects, and this word linked list dot add all, that is a word list. So word list is nothing but the vector class object, and we are passing this one as input argument to the method that is the add all. In the previous video also we used this particular method add all here. So all these elements within this vector object, that is a word list, will populate, will instantiate this word linked list, that is a linked list class object. And now we are going to add another two elements here, string objects here, that is a ball and mango, and here we have used the method that is add. Now whenever you are printing this word linked list here, so now just see the outcome. Now whenever you are printing this word, the word list, that is a linked list here, linked list class object, we are getting this book number place lemon apple tree as usual, and then ball and this mango which we added at the last two elements. So they are also showing. So actually they are nothing but the string class objects. Now you see, iterator, we are defining one iterator object, that is our it, is equal to word link list dot iterator. So the iterator it will point elements to the linked list. So here we are having this word linked list. Word linked list, you can easily find that this word linked list is nothing but the linked list class object, and dot iterator is a method which I called, and this iterator method is returning iterator class object. So while it dot has next, so in this way you can go for the iteration using this while loop. For each and every looping we can pick up the value from this iterator object it using the method it dot next. So now let me show you the output here. You can find that it is printing book number place lemon apple tree ball and mango as usual. So all these members have got retrieved, string objects have got retrieved with the each and every iteration and looping within the while, and while will check the condition, that is the it dot has next. If it returns true, then it will go for the next iteration, but if has next method returns false, then it will terminate the loop as well. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have shown you how to define the iterator class objects, linked list class object, enumeration class objects, and so on. So I think the conception is now clear to you.
In this video, we are going to discuss built-in exceptions.
Here in this Java program, I have defined one integer array. The name of the array is myArray, which is having 5 consecutive locations. So 5 elements we have put into this array, and during initialization of this array, we have also mentioned the size of the array. That means it is having 5 consecutive locations, and the subscript will be ranging from 0 to 4. So if any subscript if we mention which is beyond this range, then obviously one exception will be occurring. So here we are printing the value of this array from the subscript number 10, which is quite well greater than the value 4. That is the maximum subscript possible for this array. And for this situation, one exception will be raised, and that's why we have written a catch block just following the try block here. And this catch block is handling array index out of bounds exception, and E is a respective object for that. And here we are having the remedial actions. That means we are printing one statement, that is invalid index of the array. Okay. Now next time we have defined one string object, string class object, that is a myString initialized with null. And here in this particular system.out.println statement, we are trying to print the character at the 5th location. But this myString has got initialized with null. So if I want to pick up the character from the 5th index of this particular myString string object, obviously that will raise one exception. So one exception will be produced, and that's why this particular code has been put within the try block, and immediately this code is following the catch block, and that is the null pointed exception E. So system.out.println, the string is pointing to a null value. So respective string, respective message will get printed, which is the error handling part. Okay, now see, here we are trying to convert this ABC, this particular string, as an integer. So now integer.parse int ABC string, which is not at all possible because ABC cannot be converted to a number. So that's why int number, when trying to initialize this number, there is a int variable, is not possible, and that will raise one exception, and that exception is known as the number format exception. So what will happen, this particular line will remain unreachable, unexecuted. Whenever we are trying to do this integer.parse int, we are calling this particular method, converting one string to number, then immediately exception will be raised, and the catch block will get the control here. And here the exception name is number format exception, and this remedial statement will be printed. So now let us go for the execution. You can find that whenever I'm executing invalid index of the array, that means this line has got executed. That means the control came to this array index out of bounds exception catch block. The string is pointing a null value. That means this line has got printed. That means the control came to the catch block, for this null pointer exception E, and it is not a valid number. That means control came to this catch block here. So in this way you can find that how this inbuilt exceptions in Java we have handled. So now if I put this one as 1, so 0 to 4 is a valid index here because we're having 5 integers are there, so that's why one index is valid. So if I put here say 0, let us see that what will happen. And then obviously some exception will be there, and here if you put here 100, then 100, which is a string, can easily be converted to a number. So now see what will happen. So the value of the of my array, so the value of my array 1 is 20. Yes, at the index number 0, index number 1 is containing 20. The string is pointing a null value. That means here it is producing exceptions because the string has got initialized with a null. But let us suppose I'm just putting this one as ABCD. So now see what will happen. So it is picking up the respective character 0 because I'm picking up the character from the 0th place. So A will be picked up, and accordingly outputs are coming. And in the last case the number is 100. That means this line got the control, so catch block is not getting the control. So in this way we have explained how these inbuilt exceptions can be handled in our Java code.
Final keyword in Java.
In this demonstration we shall discuss the keyword final. At first we are showing you that how to define one final variable. So it can be defined in this way: final int variable name. So in this way you can define a final variable. So protected int my int, and class A is the name of the class. Class A is the constructor. So in this case, so it is passing this x and y as input parameters. So it is a parameter as constructor, and fin integer, there is a final integer, is equal to x, initialized for one time only through this constructor. And this my int is having this y value. So this is my non-parameter as constructor here, and it is calling the parameter as constructor with the argument 0 and 0. So 0 will be assigned to x and 0 will be assigned to y here. So here we are defining one final method. There is a final public void display final. So always remember, this final method cannot be overwritten in the derived class. So that is the one of the properties are there of this final method. So final public void final, so it is just printing the fin integer variables value. And display my int, you can find that this particular display my int is not of type final. So that's why during inheritance in the derived class, in the subclass, this display my int can be overwritten here. So it is having a single line to print. Next one is that final class B. Whenever we are defining one class as a final, that means the class cannot be extended further. This particular class is the last class in the class hierarchy. It cannot be extended further. It cannot be treated as a base class for another class. So that is the final keyword is there with the class. So you can get this idea that final keyword with this integer can get updated, can be initialized only once in the constructor. We're having this final as a method, final method. So this method cannot be overwritten, and this our final class. So this class cannot be extended further. So final class B extends class A, and here we are defining another variable, that is a my int, and set my int is one method which is taking this x as input and which is initializing this my int instance variable here within the class B. You can find that my display my int, this method has got overridden because we are having the same prototype, public void display my int. This method has got inherited in this class B, but in the class B we are having another declaration of public void my display my int. So this is nothing but one overridden method. This method can be overridden because this is not a final method. So now it is having a single line of code to get printed. Now if I want to try to override our display final, so if I write here public void, so display final. If I want to write this body, you are getting one error message and it is telling that cannot override the final method from class A. So that's why final method cannot be overridden. Okay, next. Here we are defining the class, that is a keyword final containing the main function, and class A C1A is equal to new class A 10 comma 15. So that means we are defining the object of this class, and here we are passing this 10 comma 15. So 10 will be assigned to this fin integer and 15 will be assigned to this my int. So now we are going for the display final. It will print the final variable, and the display int, it will print the respective one. So it will go on printing this 10 and 15 accordingly. So value of the final variable has got initialized with the 10 for the first time, and the last time the final variable has got updated, and value of my int is 15 here. We are defining another object, that is a c1b, and is equal to new class b. This is another object we are defining, but it is under the class b, that means this one. And then c1b dot set my int 50. So what will happen, you can find that this 50 has been assigned, and then display my int, it is printing the value 50 here. So in this way you can find that this particular display int is printing the value of this int as 50. Here we are having my int is a respective value which has got printed here. So I think now the conception is getting clear, that what is the purpose of this final keyword with a variable, with a method, and with a class.
Hash map in Java.
In this program we are discussing hash map and hash map objects. Now what is a hash map? So here you can find that hash table based implementation of the map interface, and this implementation provides all of the optional map operations and permits null values and the null key. The hash map class is roughly equivalent to the hash table, except that it is unsynchronized and permits null. But in case of hash table, we didn't allow to insert any null key or the null values, but here in case of hash map, the null values and the null keys are permitted. This class makes no guarantee as to the order of the map. In particular, it does not guarantee that the order will remain constant over the time also. So let us go for one hash map object. The name of the object is employee hash. It has got instantiated. It will be holding this integer wrapper class object as the key and string object as the value here. So how to add item to this hash map object? The method is put. So here the key is 12 and the value is programmer, key is 14, value is instructor. In this way we have added 5 such values there. So if we print this employee hash, then what will be the outcome? You can easily find that. So the employee hash map will be having the value, that is 18, tester 21 is equal to casual, 12 is equal to programmer, 13 is equal to programmer, and 14 is equal to instructor. You see the order in which I put all these items, so they are not occurring in the same order. And also you can find that the value has got repeated, but the key cannot get repeated here. You see the value has got repeated. So here we are having this programmer, here also we are having this programmer, but the key values are different here. So if you go for another one, say if I put this one, say for this 12, for this 21 rather, I'm putting this one as debugger. So you can find that this 21 has got updated with the text debugger here. So that you see 21 is now debugger. So what is happening, as the key values are the same, so that's why the debugger is not a new item for this employee hash, but this 21, the respective value casual, has got replaced and updated by the value debugger here. So if we erase this line and if you go on executing, we can find that against this 21 key, the value is casual. Now see, we are going to search how to search a particular item against the key. So if employee hash dot contains key 18, so you see 18 is present, so that's why the true will be the outcome. You can see the contents key is returns boolean, contents key returns boolean, and it is under the package java.util under the class hashmap Contents key is the respective method name which will take one object as input argument, object key as input argument. Here we have passed this integer class wrapper class object 18 as input argument, and it returns boolean to check whether the value, the key has been found there or not. So in case of 18, the type of the employee, there is a system.out.println, the type of the employee will be employee hash.get 18. You can easily find that it is printing tester, because against 18 we are having the value tester here. So tester is getting printed. But what about this 108? So 108 is this respective key is not present here, so it will go on printing the key is not found. So in this way, in this particular demonstration, we have discussed into details with the demonstration and the sample programming code, hash map, its concept, and how to define objects, and how to define and how to access different methods from this object as well.
Hash table in Java.
Let us discuss some examples on this hash table and hash table objects. Here we have defined one hash table which will hold the string, as string is a string object as the key and integer object as the value. So we know that hash table contains key value pair. So the integer class wraps a value of the primitive type int in an object. So that is the integer, and here we are having the string class objects will be there, and this is our hash table. This class implements a hash table which maps keys to values. Any non-null object can be used as a key or as a value here. So here we have defined one hash table class object, that is the st hash, and it has got instantiated with the constructor. So with this particular hash we are going to add some key value pairs here. So the respective method is put. So here string is the name is the key, and here the respective integer will be the respective value here. So there is a marks we are actually having. So Ayon 65, Deepak 80, Joy 55, Torun 75, and Rahul, that is we are having here 70 here. So now we are printing this st.hash here. So let me see that how the outcomes are coming. So the student hash table is having the content, that is the Torun 75. You see, we added Torun at the 4th place, and then Joy 55 we added Joy at the 3rd place. Deepak 80 we did this one at the 2nd place. Rahul 70 we did that one, adding putting this one at the last place, and the Ayon at the 1st place. But you see, the order in which they got added to this st hash, that is our hash table object, the order has not been maintained, but the key value pair, the respective key value pairs, that pair has got maintained throughout. So in this way you have got this one. Now let us suppose I want to add another one. Say I'm going for the st hash dot put. Say if I give a same name, say if I go for say Joy, with the value say 67. So initially you see the Joy is having the value 55, now it has become 67. Then what will happen, as a key is repeating the same key, so it will be not a new entry there, it will not put a new values key value pair there. So only the Joy, its value, its marks 55 will be updated with the 67. So 55 will get updated with the value 67. So let us go for that. You can find that with this Joy we are having the value 67 here. Okay, so key must be unique, and that's why it is known as key, and value may repeat, and with each and every key there should be some one not null value. System.out.println, the student hash table and the st hash we got printed. You see, we have got printed this one. Now we are doing something different here. So string max key is equal to null. So we are going to hold the name of that student who has secured the maximum marks. So int max marks is equal to 0, and max key, that is which will be holding the name, is having the null string initialized at first. So for string key colon st hash dot key set. So in case of st hash dot key set, all the key values will be there, and for all the keys in the key set, the for each loop will get executed. It will pick up each and every key one at a time in each and every iteration, and to get the respective marks against that key, we should go for st hash dot get key, and it will be compared with the max marks. So if max marks is less than st hash dot get key, then max key will be initialized with the new name, that is the key here, and max marks will be initialized with this new value, that is a marks here. So that is the st hash dot get key. Using this get key we can get the value of the against the key whatever you are passing as the input parameter to this get method. So in this way you are doing this one. We know that here the maximum marks has been obtained by Deepak, and the maximum marks is 80. So we are printing the student name and we are printing the student's marks here. So we are expecting that Deepak and 80, we are expecting that Deepak and 80 should get printed, and it has got printed accordingly. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have discussed how to deal with the hash table in our Java code.
String buffer and string builder in Java.
In this demonstration, we are going to discuss string buffer and string builder class objects. At first, we are dealing with the string buffer. So here you can find that one string buffer object, class object has been defined, that is sBuffer, which has been instantiated with this constructor here, and the default capacity of this sBuffer will be 16 here. So let us go for the execution. You can find that when you are printing this sBuffer.capacity, we are getting here 16. This sBuffer is now instantiated with the string buffer constructor, and here we are setting the capacity directly as 50 here. As a result of that, when you are setting that one, so it is having the capacity 50. So now again we are defining this sBuffer with this string buffer constructor, and here we are passing one string as input argument. Then what will happen, the 16 plus the length of the string will be the total buffer capacity. What is the length of the string? If you go on counting, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15, so 15 characters are there plus 16, so you are expecting the capacity would become 31 here. And here we are printing the sBuffer directly. So sBuffer has got printed, that is my string buffer. Next, we are dealing with the string builder objects. So string builder sBuilder is equal to new string builder my string builder. So this is a string which will initialize this sBuilder. So if you print this sBuilder now, this object, if you print, then it is printing my string builder. Next one is that with this sBuffer we are appending a new string. With this sBuffer we are appending a new string here. So and also with this sBuilder object we are appending another new string. So here we are mentioning one method. That method is known as the append, which is public return string buffer object, and then its name of the method is append, and it takes a string class object as input argument. Everything has been mentioned here. So now after doing this append operation, then what is the net outcome? You can find that the pre-existing content is surviving. The pre-existing content is up to this part, and the new content has got appended at the end, and similar thing has taken place in case of string builder class objects also. Next, we are initializing this sBuffer and sBuilder with a new string. So there is one string, that is another string. So sBuffer dot insert 5 pqrst. So what is the outcome here? You can find that it is producing the outcome, that is AABCA, then PQRST, then BBC. Why it is so? Because 0 1 2 3 4. So after this fourth, the fifth position, at the fifth position this PQRST will get inserted, and then BBC will be there at the end. You can find that we are having the same thing. So 0 1 2 3 4, then at the fifth place has got inserted, and the remaining part of this sBuffer is there. Next, in case of string builder, if you do the insertion here, that is at the third place we are inserting x y z. So what is happening in this case? So 0 1 2, then at the third place xyz has got inserted, and the remaining part of this sBuffer is still there. Next, we are going for the reverse. So sBuffer.reverse and sBuilder.reverse. So this particular reverse method will actually reverse the content of this string builder and string buffer objects. So you can find that the reverse is obtaining has been printed, and reverse of this current content has got printed here. So in this demonstration we have discussed how to deal with the string buffer and string builder class objects, and what are the different necessary methods or whatever we can use in our coding for storing our string in a certain better way.
Inheritance in Java.
In this demonstration, we shall be discussing about Java inheritance. At first, we are defining one base class. The name of the base class is employee, which is having protected double salary, and that is our 30,000 D. Here D stands for the double. So this particular 30,000 is of the type double here. So here we are having one constructor. The name of the constructor will be same as that of the class name, that is our employee, and one line of code is there to print one message. This developer is nothing but a subclass, and this subclass means the inherited class, and where the base class or the superclass here is the employee. Here also we are defining another class, that is a subclass or inherited class, and this particular subclass is also having the same base class, that is employee. In the both cases we are defining bonus. Here it is 20,000, here it is 10,000, and here it is 20,000. And this is the developer constructor, and this is the tester constructor, and only one string will get printed in the constructor from the constructor body. So this is the total structure of the classes, and here we are having one display salary. You can find that this particular salary was under the protected section. That means they are inheritable. So that's why this salary can be accessed from the derived class, that is our developer, and this tester also, this salary is accessible. So here when we are printing the display salary, we are just adding the salary and the bonus. The salary and the bonus is nothing but the instance variable of this developer, and salary is the inherited variable, inherited instance variable, and that is the salary, and they are getting added and the sum will get printed. Similarly here also the bonus is initialized with the value 20,000, that is a instance variable under this tester class, and this salary is the inherited instance variable. So that's why they are getting added, they can be added, and the sum of them will be the total salary going to get printed. So here we are having the class, that is the inheritance, that is a public class inheritance. Inheritance.java is the name of the file, name of the source code, and here we are defining the main function. And under this main function we are defining the developer class object and instantiating with the developer constructor, and tester class object instantiating with the tester constructor. In the both cases we are displaying the display salary method from the respective objects here. So if you go on printing, you can find here it is printing 40,000, it is printing 50,000, because the salary, you can find here the salary here in both the cases after getting inherited, the salary inherited instance variable will be having 30,000, and this 30,000 plus for 10,000, that is a 40,000 will be the salary for the developer, and 30,000 plus 20,000 will be the salary, that is a 50,000 will be the salary for the tester here. So as a result of that, we are getting the salaries got printed as 40,000 and 50,000 for the developer and for the tester respectively. I think now you are getting this idea how the inheritance can get implemented in Java code.
We are discussing constructor of a class.
In this demonstration, we shall discuss Java constructors. We know that constructors are nothing but functions whose name will be same as that of the class name. Here we have defined one class, the name of the class is account, and we have defined three instance variable, name, account number, and balance. So this is known as the constructor. Here we are not passing any parameter, so that's why it is called parameterized constructor, whose name will be same as that of the class name. Where the return type specification is not there, it is under the public section, and here we are initializing the instance variable name and account number with the null string and balance with the 0.0. This is another constructor whose name will be same as that of the class name, having no return type specification under the public scope, and it is parameterized. Here we are passing three parameters, that is the string n, string id, and double b. So now what will happen, this name and this account number and this balance, they will get updated, they will get initialized with this input parameters, and then we are having the set details where we are passing this name and the respective id. The name and id will get instantiated, will get updated, will get initialized using this set details. This is my deposit money. where the money whatever will be passing as input argument, that will get added with the balance, and the balance will be the sum of the previous balance plus the money which is being passed as the input parameter. The value of the money will get added and the new balance will be there, and the balance value will get increased in that case. So now there is a get details. Actually the get details means here we are having the display function actually. So it is printing the name, printing the account number, and printing this balance with this prompt text here. So it is, they are getting concatenated with the respective texts and strings, and then the respective values are going to get displayed. So here the name of the class is constructor. So that's why you can find that we are having this constructor.java, and under the main function we have defined two objects under the class account, and these two objects, one has got instantiated with the non-parameterized constructor, another has got instantiated with the parameterized constructor. So it has gone for the respective name, it has gone for the ID, and it is gone for the balance here. But in case of non-parameterized constructor, we didn't pass anything. So the name and the respective balance and the ID, they will remain uninstantiated. Balance will be initialized with 0, and name and this account number will be having the null only. Okay, next we're calling this set details to initialize this corresponding name and the ID. And deposit money, here we are passing this deposit money as 6,000 in double, and this is account SCC1, that is the first object which is having non-parameterized. So in this way we are initializing, or we are initializing this name and the ID and passing this value. So what will happen, the balance will be equal to 0.0 plus 6,000.0. so the balance will get updated with the 6,000 value ultimately after doing the addition. So now we are going to print the account 1 details. So the method will be get details. We know that get details method is actually printing the name, the account number, and the balance respectively. And this is my scc.get details. So details of the account number 2 is going to get printed here. So let us go for the execution. You can find that details of the account number 1. So details of the account number 1, this text has got printed. So get details is printing the name, account number, and balance, the name, account number, and balance. And details of the account 2, so this particular string has got printed, and it is now after that we have called this scc2.get details. So again it is printing the respective name, the account number, and the balance here. So from this respective demonstration, from this example, you are getting this idea that how the constructor can be defined and how constructor works in Java code, and we have given you the detailing and the respective output while running my code. So I think now the conception is getting clear. What is a parameterized constructor, what is a non-parameterized constructor, and how to call them and how to use them to instantiate and to initialize our instance variables.
This keyword in Java.
In this program we shall discuss about the keyword this. So here we have defined one class. The name of the class is my class, having private int a comma b, 2 instance variable. So public my class, so that is a constructor which is parameterized constructor having int a and b as input parameters. Now the thing is that these input parameters a and b, and also the instance variables are a and b. So if we want to initialize this a with this input parameter a, then that may produce some ambiguity if you write a is equal to a. So that is ambiguous. So that's why it is better to write this dot a is equal to a. Here this is actually indicating the object which will be defined under the class my class. So that object name dot a, in this way I'm accessing the instance variable a is equal to a, and this a which is on the right hand side of this assignment statement is nothing but the input parameter a. Similarly this dot b is equal to b here. This is my non-parameterized constructor. The constructor name will be same as that of the class name, that is a my class. Here also it is my class, and it is non-parameterized, and here we are calling the these 0 comma 0. That means it will call the parameterized constructor with the value 0 and 0 as two parameters. So in this way, this here, this is actually referring the constructor, that is the parameterized constructor, because we are passing this 0 comma 0 as the parameters. We're having the set data, and it is having this a and b as input parameters, and this dot a is equal to a and this dot b is equal to b, That means the object defined under the class my class, that object name dot a is equal to input parameter a, and object name dot b will be equal to input parameter b here. Display is actually displaying the value of a and b respectively. Now here we are having this keyword, this the class we are defining containing the main function. The my class is having the object, that is the my object is equal to new my class, so the new is the operator and this my class is actually the constructor with the help of which this my object has got defined. And now we are going for my object dot display. So display will print this a and b. We know that whenever you are calling this constructor is non-parameterized, that means this particular constructor has been called. So it will pass this, it will call this parameters constructor with the value 0 and 0. So what will happen, this a and b will be initialized with the value 0 and 0. So this my object dot display will print the value of a and b as 0 and 0. Next time we are calling this, that is a my object dot set data 23, 46. So set data will initialize this a and b with the respective values, and then my object dot display will print this 23 and 46 as the result, as outcome. So in this way we have discussed that how this constructor can be defined and what are the different types of constructors are there, and also we have shown you that how to use the keyword this, and this is actually referring the object defined under the class, so you can also call it as a dummy object name.
Polymorphism, function overloading in Java.
In this demonstration we are going to discuss function overloading in Java. Just consider this sample code. Here we have defined three functions with the same name, that is area. You can find that three functions with the same name area, and but three functions are having different prototypes. They are differing in their input parameters. So one is taking only one float input, another one is taking one variable of the double type, and this particular area is taking two float variables and at the same time. So you can find that three signatures are different, but the function names are same. So this is a very good example of function overloading. So what will happen when we shall call this area function from our code, depending upon the input parameters, their respective data types or count, or the order in which the parameters are being sent. So that will decide that which area function we are calling actually. So there is no ambiguity in spite of the fact three functions are having the same name area. So here you see we are passing one float side. So function to get the area of a square. So the area of the square will be calculated as side into side. Here we are passing the double radius to calculate the area of one circle. So the equation will be 3.1415 star radius, that is pi r square. So here we are passing this float length and float breadth. So that is to calculate the area of a rectangle. The area will be calculated as. Now from the main function we are calling this area functions here, and all these three area functions are under the static, so they are declared as a static. So as a result of that, we need not to define any function overload class object to call these functions. We can directly call these functions from the static main. So area 4, 5. So you see here we have passed two arguments, and both of them are 4 and 5. Both of them are numeric. That means it is matching with this area. That is that this prototype is matching with this calling. So overload area method to find area of a rectangle. Here we have passed only one parameter, but that is 5f. F stands for float. So it indicates that this particular area has been found, has been called, and we are passing actually the side of a square. So 5 is the side of the square. There is the length is 5. Here we are passing this 6d. So d stands for double. So that's why here we are calculating the area of a circle, and 6 is nothing but the radius of the circle. So if I go on executing my code, I can find that area of a rectangle is 20. That has got calculated using 4 into 5. So that is a 4 into 5. So I'm going for this is there is a 4 into 5 here. So area of a rectangle, you can find that this text has got printed. So area of a rectangle, and the next one we have passed this area 5f. That means we have passed one float. So here this is the side, so it is calculating the area of a square. So area of a square is 5 into 5, that is 25. Now we are going to calculate the area of a circle, because 6d, d stands for double, so this area of the circle is going to get called. So it is nothing but 3.1415 star radius. So the calculated value is 113.094. So in this way we have given you the idea that what is function overloading and how to implement it in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing polymorphism function overriding in Java.
In this demonstration, we are discussing method overriding in our Java. So here we are having one class. The name of the class is animal. Only one method is there, that is a movement, and movement will have only one line statement, that is system.out.println animals can move. This is the derived class, that is dog, and animal is the base class. Extents indicate that this particular dog is inheriting the properties from this animal. So extents is actually denoting the inheritance. Here you can find that this animal is having public void movement. Here also within this dog we are defining the same prototype function, that is a public void movement, and that's why it is called method overriding, because the same method with the same prototype is being defined in the derived class also, and it is having the respective string to get printed using system.out.println. Frog is another derived class, and which is extending this animal class. So this animal class is the super class, also known as the base class, and this frog is the derived class, also known as the subclass. And here you can find that it is also having the same method. Method same means the same prototype is there, public void movement. So here also the method is getting overridden. So now in this particular method we are having this statement to get printed, and that is another statement to get printed, but in between we are calling the base class method, that is a movement. So base class, whatever the name of the base class, it will be referred as super. So super.movement, that means I'm calling this movement method. So there is a super.movement, that is a call the movement method of the parent class first, and then we are printing this statement, that is the frogs can jump. Before that, calling movement method of the parent class will get printed. So this is our override method class. Name of the file is override method, and here we are having the main function. So animal having the object animal is equal to new animal dot movement. We are defining this animal is equal to new dog. This animal is equal to new dog, animal dot movement. Here animal is equal to new frog, and animal dot movement we have called it. So at first we are calling this animal dot movement, then we have called the same, but here this animal has got instantiated with the dog class object, and here animal has got instantiated with the frog class object. So now let us go for the execution. You can find that animals can move. This particular line got printed from this animal movement. Here in this case, when we are calling this animal dot movement, dogs can walk and run also. So this is the respective text which were defined here. Just come to this code here. So this dogs can walk and run also. So this is the movement we are having. This particular movement method we are having the respective string getting printed, and they have got defined in the dog class. So next one is that this calling the movement method. You can find that calling the movement method of the parent class, and then super.movement, that means animals can move. So that string is getting printed because I'm calling the base class movement method, and then frogs can jump. So frogs can jump has also got printed. So in this way, in this example, we have shown you that what is function overriding and how to handle the situation. I think the outputs are quite well understood by you. Please go on typing such codes and go on doing experiments at your end to get the more clarity and better understanding of this subject.
In this video, we are discussing vectors in Java.
Here in this particular program, we have defined one num vector, which is the object under the class vector, and which will contain integer type objects. So here you can find that it is containing integer type objects. So integer is nothing but a wrapper class under which objects will be defined, and those objects will be kept under this vector object num vector. So now we are going to add some items to this particular vector object. So numVector.add is the method with the help of which you can add some items into this vector object numVector. So here we have added say 5 such objects, and these objects have got added with this numVector. So now if I want to print the size of this numVector, so that means the number of objects it is containing, we are expecting that it will print 5 here. So let me go for the execution. Here you can find that the size of the vector is being shown as 5, because here we have added 5 objects of integer type. So now we are going to print all the members of this num vector. So in that case, I've just printed this one in this way, the system.out.println numbers with a concatenation with this num vector, that is a vector object. So what is the outcome in that case? We are finding that this 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, they have got printed. Now also we can access these members using a for each loop. Just see here, this is the integer class. Under this integer wrapper class, we have defined one object, that is a num, and using for each loop we are through the iterations we are retrieving each and every element one at a time through these iterations, and they are getting printed. As a result of that, we are getting the outcome, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 got printed in the separate lines, because here we have used println function here. So now we are going to add another integer object, that is a 100, to this at the location number 3. So subscript number 3, we know that in case of vector, the subscript will be starting from, the index will be starting from 0. So as the index will be starting from 0, so at the third index we are going to insert this 100. So now later we are going to print this updated num vector, that is a vector object. So we are finding that this 100 has got inserted at the index 3 here, because 0, 1, 2, 3 at the third index the 100 has got inserted. So now if we go on printing the size of this num vector now, so I'm just copying this line, and if I go on printing the size of this num vector, so we are expecting that it will print now 6, because one new object of integer class has got inserted here, has got added at the index number 3. So the size of the vector object is now 6. In this way, in this particular demonstration, we have shown you that how to use vectors in our Java code.
In this video, we are discussing user-defined exceptions.
Let us go for a demonstration on user-defined exceptions. Here we have defined one class. The name of the class is below age exception, which extends the exception class here. And there is a constructor, and this is a constructor of the class below age exception, and from this constructor it is calling the base class constructor. Here the base class is exception, and the base class constructor has been called using super, passing this argument string as input argument. So age is under 18. We have defined another class. The name of the class is application, where we are having this name, course and age. So 3 instance variables we are having. Application is the name of the constructor, which is taking this name and the course as input argument. So this name and course, the instance variables are getting initialized here. Age is also getting initialized with the default value of 18. This is non-parameterized constructor. Obviously the name of the constructor will be same as that of the class name, so the name of the constructor is application, which is non-parameterized. And from this non-parameterized constructor we are calling the parameterized constructor. So these null string comma null string. So here you can find that this is actually referring to this parameterized constructor, which takes 2 string objects as input argument, and here we are passing this to null strings here. So now we are having another method, that is the set age, which takes this age as input argument and which throws the below age exception, When this input age, the input argument age is less than 18, we are throwing this throw new below age exception. So you are throwing this below age exception class object. So we are throwing that one. So that's why this function is throwing below age exception. Otherwise, this age, which is not less than 18, will be assigned to the instance variable age. So this dot age is equal to age. Now this is the display details, another method we are having, that is a member function. So here we are printing this name, the course, the age, and so on. So now let us go for our class, that is the user defined exception. This is the main function here. We have defined two objects under the application class, two objects. One is the application 1, another one is the application 2. So this is our respective name. So we have passed this John and Java programming. So this name is nothing but this variable is this input parameter name will get initialized with that value, whatever is we are going to pass, and the course name will be initialized with this Java programming. So here this is my name and this is the course name we are having. So now application 1 dot display details. So the display details will be printed here. So now application 2 dot set age 17. You can find that here we have passed the age 17, which is below 18. So as a result of that, this set age, this particular method will throw below age exception. So that's why we have put this line under the try block, and try block is being followed by the catch block immediately. So below age exception, E is the object of this below age exception class, and within this catch block we are writing this E dot get message and E dot print stack trace. So now let me go for the execution of the same. So if I go on executing, you can find that the name of the student is John and applied for Java programming and taking the default age 18. So now in this case what is happening, so the application 1 dot display details, it is printing accordingly. So in the next time when we are going for this set age method will be called from this application 2, that is the application class object, passing this input argument as 17. So as the 17 is less than 18, so it is throwing new below age exception. So automatically the catch block will get the control, because this catch block is actually handling this below age exception E, and the respective code is getting printed. So E dot get message is printing this age is under 18, and E dot print stack trace is printing the respective outcome. I'm going to show you the outcome here. So this is the outcome it is going to show. So you can find that the error has occurred at the line number. So you see at the line number of the error has occurred, and line number is actually throwing this below age exception. You can find that this line number is here, so it is the respective line numbers are getting printed. So in this way, in this particular demonstration, we have discussed how we can define user defined exceptions.
In this video, we are discussing wrapper classes in Java.
In this demonstration, we shall discuss on the wrapper class. Within the class, that is the wrapper class here, we are defining one variable within the main function, that is the int val is equal to 10. That means this val is one integer variable. Int res, so we have defined another integer variable res and which is uninitialized. Now this particular val has been passed as the input argument to the integer constructor, and integer here is nothing but one wrapper class. So creating one integer type object using int. So integer is equal to new integer val. So in this way you can find that this val has been passed as the input argument to the constructor integer, and it is actually helping it to define one object under the wrapper class integer here. So res is equal to integer dot int value. That means here the value which is there within this integer wrapper class object will be assigned to this res, and res is going to get printed. So val was having the value 10, and this particular val has been wrapped within this wrapper class object, that is the integer, and from this integer we are trying to get the value now. So the respective method is init value. So respective method is init value, and that is returning the respective value there, which is getting assigned onto the integer variable res, and res is getting printed. So let me go for the execution. You can find that the value of res is 10 here, so it has got printed up to this level. Next, integer my int is equal to 50. That means automatically it is converting to my int. That means it is automatically, this line is automatically getting converted to the respective statement, that is my int is equal to new integer 50. Now system.out.println, if you print this my int, that is the integer wrapper class object, actually internally it is using my init value. That is the int value, that is the respective method which you used in the earlier case also. So if I go for the execution, you can find that it is printing the value 50 here. In the next one, we are having this I123 is in the type of string, and it will be converted to this integer using integer.parseInt. If you consider this parseInt, you can easily find that this parseInt is under the public scope defined as static returns integer. ParseInt is the name of the method which takes one string class object as input argument and throws the number format exception. So as a result of that, this integer.parseInt you can write directly, because integer is the respective class name under which the parseInt is one of the member method. So as it is of the type static, so instead of defining integer class object, we can directly access this parseInt using class name dot operator, that is the integer dot parseInt. So it is just converting this string to the respective integer, and the value of this integer is getting printed. But here we are having pre-increment. That means instead of printing 123, we are expecting that it will print 124, because here it is having the pre-increment, not the post-increment. Plus sign is appearing before this res variable. So let us go for the outcome. It is printing that the value of res after increasing is 124. Next, we are having this res is equal to integer.parseInt fe, 16. So here we are passing one string. Here also we pass the string, but here the default base, it was considered as the decimal base, that is a 10. But here we have mentioned explicitly that is the base will be 16, and that will be assigned to this res, and then the res is getting printed. So now you know that f means 15 and e means 14. So how to calculate this one? It is very simple. So we can consider this fe expressed in the base 16. Say I'm just writing this one in this way. Expressed in the base 16, which is nothing but that is a 15 into 16 to the power of 1. So 16 to the power of 1, and then we're having this one, that is a e means actually this is my 14 into 16 to the power of 0. So 14 into 16 to the power of 0. So what will be the value? The value will be 16 into 15, that is 240, plus we're having this one as 14, so plus 14 we're having, so fe, so which is nothing but 254. So this is the value we are expecting. Let me check that what value we got earlier. We got this 254 here. So from here we are getting this explanation. Okay, next one, long dot to binary string. So long is another wrapper class, and this to binary string is one method, and which is public static string to binary long I. So it will take the long variable as input argument, and which returns a string as outcome, and it is of the type static. So it is of the type static method. So that's why I can directly access this to binary string from this long class directly. Now here the value is 91. So let us express this 91 in terms of binary. So let me write it here. So we are having this 91. 91 is nothing but 64 plus 27. So 27 means 16 plus 11. So that means 8 plus 3. That means 2 plus 1. So in this way I can easily express this 91. So it is 64 is present. You can find here 32 is absent, 16 is present, 8 is present, 4 is absent, 2 is present, and 1 is present. So that should be the respective equivalent, binary equivalent of 91. So let me check what outcome we got here. You can find that we have got this one 1011 011 1011 011. Yes, so in this way the values have got printed. So the binary of 91 can be obtained by long dot to binary string 91. So 91 is of the type of long, which is being passed as the input argument to this to binary string method, and which is of the type of static. So that's why we can easily access it from the respective class name, that is a long dot. Long dot to hex string. So 91 will be converted to the respective hexadecimal. So what is the outcome here we are getting here? And that is about 5b. Why 5b? Because we know that 5b means 5 into 16 to the power of 1. What is that? That is our 80. plus B stands for 11. So 80 plus 11, so that is 91. So really we are having this 91 has got expressed in terms of hexadecimal here. So the next one is that we are having this integer. We define this integer that is a integer wrapper class object integer. So integer dot toString, so respective integer value whatever is residing in this integer, that is a integer class object, wrapper class object, will be assigned to this int string object, and later the string object is getting printed. And here you see we pass this val while instantiating this integer wrapper class object integer. So if you print, we are going to get here 10 here. So in this way, in this particular demonstration, we have explained that how to use our wrapper class objects in our Java code.
Multi-threading extending thread class in Java.
In this program, we are going to define one class. The name of the class is thread class, which is extending the class thread. So here you see class thread class extends thread, and here we are overwriting the method, that is the run. The run method is there with the respective prototype is void multithreading dot thread class dot run. So this run method takes no input argument, it returns void, and it is under the public section. So that's why you are just overriding this method run. We know that whatever you will be writing within this run method, that is the body, that is the code to be executed when the thread will be in execution. So here you have defined one for loop here. So for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So that means this loop will get on executing for 10 number of times. The iteration will be done for 10 number of times, and the value of I will be ranging from 0 to 9. And within this particular for loop, we have put this try catch block, and here we are going for this thread dot slip. You can find that this particular slip method, it throws interrupted exception. This particular slip method throws interrupted exception. So that's why we have enclosed this thread dot slip within the try block, and the catch block is handling this interrupted exception E. And you can find this that this particular slip is of the type static. So that's why public static void slip long millis. So it is taking this milliseconds in the data type of long as the input argument, which throws interrupted exception. As this method is defined under the class thread, this method is defined under the class thread. So instead of defining the thread class object as it is of the type static, so we can call it by thread dot slip. So thread dot slip, so 100 milliseconds it will be waiting, and then it will be slipping, and then catch interrupted exception E, and in the catch block we have written E dot print stack trace. So this is a class we have defined. Under this class we are having the main function. We have defined one thread class object. The thread class, whatever you have defined here, we have defined one object, that is a tc1 is equal to new thread class constructor. tc1 dot start, whenever we are calling this start method, the run method will be executed. That means this particular thread will be executing in parallel of this for loop execution. So this particular for loop will go on executing for I is equal to 0 to 9, and main thread colon line colon plus I. So I will be printed from 0 to 9. So let us go for the execution for the better understanding. You can see that this particular line, that is the main thread colon line colon. So this particular line has got executed for 10 times for I is equal to 0 to 9. But this particular printing is under this for loop, and within this for loop this thread dot slip will halt for 100 milliseconds. So that's why it is go on printing in this way. So if I go for the execution once again, you can find that this for loop has got terminated earlier, and then these lines are getting printed because here we are having one slip here, and this slip is occurring for 10 number of times.